It is Wednesday night, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. That means it's time for the NFL Pick 6 Show, Week 16. Myself, Dean Shavelson from RotoGrinders, joined as always two of the absolute best in the business, John Daigle, ETR, Established the Run, Rich Hribar from Sharp Football Analysis. Boys, we're getting there. We're almost there. There's only so many more matchups. You guys, I mean, Silva can only give you so many matchups, Daigle.
Well, he's going to push that.
Only a couple more weeks of the regular season. We got playoffs around the corner. Playoff best ball. Get excited about that. Daigle, welcome to Wednesday night. Oh, like you said, you wrote this in our. I'm glad you pointed this out. Everyone, reminder. Next week, we are not going to be on Wednesday night. Don't fret. We're going to be on Friday nights. So later, a couple days later in the week. So we'll actually have some information. It'll be less like if this and if that, and maybe this guy, maybe that. Maybe we'll see. We'll have a little bit more clarity. Typically this show is kind of sort of somewhat a first look, a slate, opener to some degree. But Friday night is when we're doing Week 17. Same time, 8 o'clock Friday night on the East Coast. Daigle, welcome to Wednesday night. How are things?
Typically a first look show, but always excited about a nice little Friday night show. Maybe even make some cocktails during the show. Who knows what happens on a Friday night when we all get to record together, but excited about that. It is semifinals week for season-long football, so lots of important decisions. And I do think it's a really fun slate. Rich and I were touching on this behind the scenes before you jumped on, Dean, that lots of bad quarterbacks, but lots of bad defenses as well that I think are going to propel us into some nasty stacks that you're probably going to take a shower when lineups lock, because it's not going to look pretty at first, but someone's going to get there this week.
Yeah, we lost Patrick Mahomes, Gardner Minshew. Mahomes, hopefully he comes back and is healthy and good to go next season. Rashee Rice also out with concussion. Well, not officially out, but presumed out. Was he officially ruled out, or the assumption is play?
He's like a day behind, and he entered protocol today.
Yeah. And this year, I'd have to sift through, but this year I can't even recall one person who had a concussion and came back the following week. The last couple years in general, it's been really thin to even suffer on Sunday and then come back the following week, let alone get downgraded on a Wednesday and then play. So I think we can safely assume he's out.
Just lost a quarterback, knocked out of the playoffs. Like, there's no reason to push him. So I would imagine as well, we're not going to see Rice. Tua I guess he's as healthy as he's going to be. He's just terrible. Miami just finally had enough. Ewers is going to be quarterbacking this week for the Dolphins.
Hey, there's no shortage of quarterback punts this week, baby.
Oh, I got all of them.
It's week 16.
You got 40-year-old punts. You got rookie punts. You got whatever you want this week.
And if you have your favorite, I'll tip my cap to you as long as it's not Brady Cook.
Anybody? You're okay with anybody?
Yeah, just
anybody with Brady.
We're going to talk about someone in that game. I know that, but not Brady Cook.
Oh, it's going to be Shuck. It's definitely spoiler alert. It's going to be Shuck. I imagine it's going to be Shuck. Who, he's looking pretty good. We'll talk about it, but Neal probably not going to play for the Saints this week.
He's rolled out.
Okay,
that's one of them that's already been rolled. Like, that one's we don't have to worry about. Him and Vele's out too.
More Wednesday getting ruled out makes my life so much easier.
Yeah. There are so many worksheet spots where it's like, well, we're gonna have to see what happens at the start of the week. Like, Texans backfield, like at the start of Packers wide receiver, but Christian Watson came back. It's like, we need to get some clarity on some of these injuries first.
Yeah, Texans backfield could be a mess for sure. Woody Marks getting hurt last week, and Dare's lurking. There was I'm not aware of Jawar Jordan.
He didn't have a career carry to that point, and then he became their first running back all season long to rush for over 80 yards. So
he was great.
You shouldn't have known about him to that point, but he played great.
Shout out Cardinals defense for being the savior we need at the end of these trying times before the holidays.
Yeah.
Stroud stacks all day last week were good.
Yeah, you keep talking about that, Rich. Stroud, like the most predictable quarterback. Like, good matchup, he plays good. Bad matchup, he plays bad. He plays how he's supposed to play, right? Like, that's,
we have a few guys like that. Caleb is kind of like that too. Like, we have a few guys that are kind of like tried and true. Then you get the wild cards. Like, we're going to talk about Bo Nix, and like, you don't know what the hell Bo Nix is going to do on a week-to-week basis.
And Stroud plays the Raiders this week. I wonder if we're going to like Stroud. All right. If you like the late games, well, you and Daigle are simpatico because you guys know how this goes. It's week 16, but if you're not aware, we focus on three main games in the main slate. Of course, now we have Saturday games. So it's an 11-game slate, 11-gamer, 7 early, 4 late. Good job by the NFL. Give me 4 late, and I'm happy. That's all enough to satisfy the quad box. And specific to the late games, 3 of the 4 late games are the 3 games we feature. Daigle, did you want to speak to that as far as you have like a general thought as far as ownership when it comes to the early slate or just kind of pivots? I saw something in the notes in regards to that. Yeah.
Well, for this slate in particular, I do think a lot of the chalk, and we'll touch on these options when we get to them and the positional plays. But I really do think we're going to see a lot of ownership gang up on JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. Like if you didn't like 6,900 Justin Jefferson, maybe you're going to like 6K Justin Jefferson. So I think it just naturally trickles into tournaments for JJ McCarthy, who's at least added fantasy points for however he's played the last 2 games. So we'll touch on that a bit. And then Justin Herbert, I think will also be probably a spend-up quarterback, if only because he's playing the Cowboys defense. And we're going right back into the Cowboys defense that may not have Quentin Williams since he suffered a concussion in that game. That's the same defense that you could play literally anyone against, and everyone would get there the first half of the year. So I think we're going to get some ownership on offenses that we can still, even in good spots, question their ceilings, since they all year long have otherwise shown us we should question their ceilings. And because of that, lots of late swaps. And we're going to talk about 3 games that you can late swap into.
Yeah. First one we're going to talk about is the game in Arizona. Atlanta at Arizona, 47.5 is the total there. Arizona 2.5-point home dog currently. We don't know about Marv right now. Last I saw, he is questionable. Drake London also questionable. Again, Wednesday night. Circle back on that. But Daigle, man, it's we talked about it last week, or at least I know in the shows that I was on. McBride, it was really, really hard to get to him, but just like find a way, baby. Just find a way because he's just such a slate breaker. He's incredible. Once again, probably not going to be that heavily owned, but we'll see. As far as tight end this week, we'll see how things settle. But Arizona at home versus Atlanta. Brissett, it's his job. How are you seeing this one in the dome? We like domes this time of year.
We do like domes this time of year, and honestly, this game is probably being thought about, if only because, one, the Cardinals are a defense we talk about weekly, but also just because of what's happening on the Falcons defensive side of the ball as well. As from week 8 on, really since they've returned from their bye, they've also been a passing defense that have struggled mightily. The Cardinals, as we know, are just operating and running through their passing game with Jacoby Brissett averaging 43 pass attempts per game. Now, last week was finally the one time among all those starts since he's been starting that he threw for more than 2 touchdowns. But nonetheless, the volume is there. And the targets, at least to this point, have been concentrated solely between Michael Wilson and Trey McBride. We have to throw in that little wrench that Marvin Harrison Jr. may return. So we could be looking at what happened a couple weeks ago where Michael Wilson was put on the back burner. But honestly, I'm going to let ownership dictate that for me, just because of also what we've seen happen to the Falcons the last 3 games, really since the second half of the season that I talked about from week 8 on. But the last 3 games in particular are proof that they're still struggling immensely against opposing wide receiver ones. And so if Marvin Harrison Jr. returns, maybe we get some ownership discount on Michael Wilson, when you can also zoom out, if you get that discount, and say, this guy actually, like, it's still, he's going to be their wide receiver 1 because they're done with Harrison Jr. altogether. But the last 3 games, it's still A.D. Mitchell for 100 yards and a touchdown. JSN had 90 and 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans on Thursday night had 130 yards in his first game back last week. So we're still trying to pinpoint the Cardinals wide receiver 1. I think Jacoby Brissett is a safe, high-floor quarterback in this game as well, especially if you think it shoots out indoors, because we also like the Falcons to get there as well.
Daigle, if the Cardinals are not chasing like they have been chasing, are we going to get less passes out of Brissett? Like, are we not going to get 50 passes out of him? Are we going to get enough?
Well, maybe, but I also think, one, in that the last month in particular, they're still first overall in pass rate over expectation. This is how they operate their offense. But also, I would imagine because they don't have a running back, Bam Knight now, since we play this roller coaster every week, out for the season, that this is just how they lean into their offense as a whole. Even Michael Carter, I don't mind if people want to get there for cheaper, but I also think it could be thin. Like, he's actually a player that given his ownership, I don't think I'm going to get on, just because, remember, Michael Carter is still a guy that, even though he came off the bench last week once Bam Knight was carted off, and he had 78% of their backfield carries, ran 31 routes to DeMercado's 5. That's also a week where DeMercado didn't practice in full throughout the week. And because Carter's a player that the organization overlooked all year long until they had no choice, maybe if DeMercado's able to practice in full this week, actually they just flip it again. And he's suddenly either their pass catching back or even splitting or handling more touches with Carter. And so I still think the safest route is through their passing game. And I think personally, I'm going to ignore their backfield.
Carter 5-4 on DK, 6-1 on FanDuel. I thought he'd be in the 5s on FanDuel. 6-1. Come on, FanDuel. Rich, jump in here. Talk to me about the Cardinals. Feel free to jump over and knock out the Falcons. Battle of the Birds.
Yeah, it is Battle of the Birds. This is we're going to see the Cardinals throw the ball a lot. I don't think they're going to line up run the ball because they haven't lined up and ran the ball on anyone. They're on their 4th running back or 5th running back, depending how you want to dissect it. And Atlanta's good against the run. That's the thing too. Is like we've got a few of these defenses now at this point of the year. They should think about being worse against the run, because it's just kind of pushed teams to kind of throw on them. Like the Titans are one of these teams. Like the Titans, why are you so good against the run, Tennessee? You don't have any defensive backs. And Atlanta's like that. So the past 5 games, they're only allowing 3.8 yards per carry to running backs. That's 9th in the NFL. They're 5th in rushing yards allowed per game. Like Daigle said, the Arizona's got the highest pass rate over expectation in the NFL. Their offensive line is banged up too. So I expect them to still have a high drop back rate. It's just trying to figure out now, with Marv plays, which looks like he could be trending towards. They didn't practice today. It was just a walkthrough. And Jonathan Gann said he looked good, but that was it. So we'll find out tomorrow at official practice, what he's actually doing. And we'll have a better gauge on if he plays. Because last time he played, everyone was kind of like, oh, well, Michael Wilson's had these 2 good games. There's no way they can put him back in the bottle. And that's exactly what the hell they did. On the snaps with Marvin Harrison Jr. on the field, that was the Bucs game. Michael Wilson had a 13% target share, 0.93 yards per outrun that game. The second Marvin Harrison left that game, he went to 30.4% of the team targets, 2.38 yards per outrun. So it's just hard. We haven't seen them get that third guy involved, even when Harrison left. Even when people wanted to play Dortch, and we sucked out that week where Dortch got that late touchdown, but Dortch wasn't getting any targets either. It was all McBride and it was all Michael Wilson. It's just been a 2-man band. So having Harrison back does throw a wrench into it. Interesting enough, Harrison's $1,000 cheaper than Michael Wilson now because people kept playing Michael Wilson, so his price kept going up. So maybe we just go and pivot to Marvin Harrison Jr. if he plays. But on this particular slate, when I look at tight end, I do think if there's a way to prioritize McBride, and I haven't figured out yet if there is because I haven't built any lineups yet, this would be more of a slate to do it. Last week, I really wanted to play Kittle at the discount. This week, there's not someone in that mid-range. We're going to see a lot, I think, Darren Waller be popular on this league, even with Ewers starting. I think he's just so cheap, and it's the Bengals, so people will play him regardless. So maybe McBride is a little bit more leverage this week. Since Brissett took over, the only players that have scored more fantasy points per game than Trey McBride are Jahmyr Gibbs and Christian McCaffrey. That's it. He leads the NFL in routes run, too, per game. He's running 45 routes per game. Because he doesn't come off the field. He's one of those tight ends that just because he's good in the run game, he's what you want. So when you have the player running the most routes and he's that talented, he has a chance to turn the highest positional leverage season in fantasy history if he holds on to this the last 3 weeks of the season. So maybe the way to play it is just to get McBride into lineups.
What was that sample of that game, Harrison against? When did he get knocked out? Right around halftime? How much did he play?
Yeah, it was the end of the first half, right?
I feel like he didn't play the second half. Just trying to think of the samples big enough to draw those conclusions. But it's what we have to work with, and we're always dealing with small samples with football. Then the season's over. If there's 10 more weeks, we can figure this out. But there's not. It does seem to be Wilson. Be 6'9" if Harrison's back. So you prefer Harrison if he's in, as far as
I prefer McBride, but
yeah.
I was just spitballing if the field still wants to try to play Harrison or Wilson, it's one of those things we'd have to see until we got to the 11th hour Saturday how the field's kind of playing it. But
that's why I mentioned
Harrison Jr. would be an interesting pivot.
That's why I mentioned Wilson Jr.'s ownership. I think I'm just going to let that dictate how I handle it.
I also don't want to play any of the running backs though. So.
You're not. You don't.
Well,
Not on the Arizona side. Not on Arizona side.
Oh yeah.
Daigle, we like Bijan.
We do. We love Bijan. It's also just if you look at the overall slate of running backs for all the quarterbacks we're going to talk about throughout the 3 featured games. When we get to the positional plays, lots of good quarterbacks as well, which again, just kind of see where your stat goes on it, dictate it for you. Running back is nasty. Like so much so that Audric Estime and Jawar Jordan are going to be possible plays. And so I think just naturally, the 2 most expensive options here, since Christian McCaffrey is on Monday Night Football, Saquon Barkley plays on Saturday. The 2 most expensive options, Devon Achane, Bijan Robinson, well, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs, like are naturally just going to be the best plays. Like even with yours, I would imagine ownership is going to come in heavily on Devon Achane as a cash game play. And again, we're talking about this Cardinals backfield that this is why Woody Marks was a cash game option, 30% rostered, even in small field last week, is because we just want RB1s against the Cardinals. And of course, that trickles into Bijan Robinson.
We talked about how much we like McBride. Well, Kyle Pitts played like McBride last week. Can he repeat that? Daigle, what about your thoughts as far as the rest of the Falcons?
Yeah, we talked about the splits for Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson. We're kind of in same territory depending on whether Drake London plays or not so far this year. And I know, Rich, maybe you have different data. I have Sports Info Solutions. That's our partner at ETR. So I'm going to tell you 260 plays that London and Kyle Pitts have shared the field. Pitts was only targeted on 17% of his routes on those plays. Drake London was at 33%. And so I just think it's a spot where maybe people are hesitant to play Drake London his first game back from injury, and possibly then Pitts is drowned out, but it's also on paper, technically, a good match for Pitts still. So much so that if you want to get to Kirk Cousins, if you want to play it through like double stacks with Bijan and Pitts, totally fine with that instead of London, given that the Cardinals are allowing the 3rd most yards and catches and targets per game to opposing tight ends. But at least so far, the sample we've seen is that Pitts is not scoring 150 yards and 3 touchdowns whenever Drake London plays.
I'm always a little hesitant to play this time of year players that may or may not be 100%, that may be gutting it out, on teams that have no incentive to win. That's both these teams, Atlanta and Arizona. So I'm a little bit concerned with Marv. I'm not saying he's going to get hurt if he plays again. I'm not just saying that London, who always seems to visit the medical tent, he guts it out most of the time. But just maybe that's my own little hiccup. That's my own.
I mean, Marv probably is pushing to come back because he's watching Michael Wilson ball. And just everyone just brings up every week, like, look at Michael Wilson do this. Marv's never done that. Like, he's probably like, son of a bitch. Man.
Is it more of an indictment on Marv or an indictment on Kyler Murray or both?
Probably a little bit of everything. And Drew Petzing too. So.
Because
also, like, why wasn't Michael Wilson like incorporated into the offense ever, like before this?
I still don't understand how he couldn't earn targets before, and now he's Jerry Rice. It just makes no sense at all.
It's very strange.
Because something the Pitts in London stuff, like the overlap makes sense because Pitts in London where they operate is like the same area of the field.
Yep.
It's why Pitts has taken off since London's been out. Like that was so frustrating about watching the game on Thursday. It was like, because there's someone that drafted a lot of Drake London was like, man, this would have been Drake London's game. Like, it would have been cooking. Before Drake London got hurt, Kyle Pitts was the tight end 18 in fantasy scoring, and now he's the tight end 3.
That's also an indictment on like the next 12 tight ends.
It is.
3 good ones, I imagine. It's probably not hard to shuffle up 5 or 10.
But he has in the 5 games London's missed this year, Pitts has over 25% of the targets every game, every single one. It's why none of the receivers that took London's spot are got moved up the pecking order have done anything.
Darnell Mooney, David Sills.
Yeah, Sills. Yeah, and Cousins can only support one guy too. Like, that's the other thing too. Even against Arizona, like, if London comes back, how many is it just get muddy? I think I just want to jam Bijan in, and
that's what I was going to ask,
and be done with it.
As far as running backs, on this slate, is he your favorite, all things considered?
Oh yeah,
Gibbs is right there, Achane's right there. As far as actually our projections right now, it's Robinson, Gibbs, and there's a gap to Achane. To be honest, this stuff. Yeah,
I wonder if people get scared a little bit just because they feel like Bijan and Gibbs are a little safer. With just the overhaul with Miami and the changing of the guard, but we'll talk about that a little bit. But it's the fact that Arizona too, like, they run so many plays because, like, they throw So when they throw in completions, the clock stops. When they're gaining yards, they're gaining more yards than a run. It's like, so you just have so much more potential for play volume. And Bijan's been so good and so electric. He now leads the NFL in yards per scrimmage. Like, he's the leader. And a lot of people have talked about like the ceiling that Jahmyr Gibbs has shown recently, because he's had like the 335-point games. Well, over the past, Bijan's had 29.5 PPR points in 3 of his past 5 games. Like, he's had just as equally a high a ceiling.
By the way, I did look at the blitz game level factors. You're talking about the pace, Rich. Arizona, Atlanta expected to have the most game plays according to the Cardi's blitz. And funny enough, 2 and 3 are the games we're going to talk about momentarily. So yeah, the games with the most plays are projecting pretty well. They're popping for Daigle. They're also late in the 4 o'clock window. I like when people play pre-show in the chat. What's up, chat? Hit that like button and subscribe. Turn on those notifications. I also dropped Kevin Ross weather report there. Does not seem like there's going to be anything dicey. Diciest thing I see right now is Thursday night. We don't care about Thursday night, but some potential strong wins in Seattle for that very important Rams-Seattle game. But as of right now, on a Wednesday night, Roth is not terribly concerned about much on the main slate. Green, yellow in Cleveland. Freezing temperatures, but not a ton of wind, 10 to 50 miles per hour. But essentially, very surprising. Seems like weather is going to be just a non-factor. Anything else here as far as Arizona and Atlanta? A lot of sort of like just wait for more news. But we kind of laid out both options, both routes. Anything else here, boys, or shall we move along?
No, because we even lost thinner plays since targets are all so honed in to McBride and Wilson right now. That's why like the second or third receiver would naturally be Marvin Harrison Jr. because like even Andre Basilea got injured. There's literally nowhere else to go on that team.
But Brissett's still like, it's interesting that Brissett's like on DraftKings is like never moved.
Right.
He's 5-3 this week.
People are playing him, right? I assume they're
playing
him.
People have been playing him. So yeah. I mean, he's still, and he's like so much more of a comfortable click than when we go below. Like Daigle brought up, JJ McCarthy. We'll talk about some other gross dudes down there too. But he's just been like, you're getting 20 DraftKings points with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
like that's what you're getting.
Okay.
The cool thing is you can also play Falcons defense with Brissett because the Falcons, are second in the NFL in sack rate over the past 8 games. If you're getting all these dropbacks, right? Like you just get a chance at sacks, and Brissett's taking a ton of sacks. So you have that. That's what we always want, right? For our defense, like a bunch of dropback opportunities and chances to get turnovers. So Falcons defense, low key too, is real good.
Falcons 2-7 on DK. Yeah, I was loving Seattle last week. I'm like, Seattle against Philip Rivers. And then I was like, well, Rivers is like, they probably going to just a bunch of dump offs and a lot. Yeah. They want to run the ball 90 times if they can.
Yep.
And like, that's not the way to get points. You might shut them down as far as actual points on the board, but dropbacks is what I want. That's the opportunities where you get sacks, pick sixes, strip fumbles, that kind of stuff. So it's a good point. Okay.
And by the way, like, in defense of Philip Rivers, like it ended exactly how we thought it would. Never thought Philip Rivers was going to get there, but I was shocked at how high IQ he still is. Like he's still like a top 5 brain in the NFL. You could tell he knew where to throw the ball. He just had the IQ of Philip Rivers and the arm of Ian Book, so it was never getting there.
He never had a great arm before, but it was very noticeable.
Now try, winking sidearm at 44 years old. Like he saw so many times Josh Downs, or Michael Pittman. This is the zone right here along the sideline, and he tried to get it there, and dude, it was just sad to watch.
But I never jammed in Seahawks for that reason. Well, they played in shotgun the whole game. And like it was literally just like get the ball out of his hands as quick as possible. The hot take though, they win that game with any other quarterback besides Philip Rivers though, because there was nothing Philip Rivers did in that game they couldn't have asked Riley Leonard to do. Maybe he creates a little more plays. Big Lou should have won them that game. Big Lou was in his absolute bag that game, and because they couldn't run a functional passing game to any level, they lost that game. A lot of people looked at it and were like, oh, Rivers had him positioned to win. No, Big Lou had him positioned to win. And because they couldn't convert anything besides field goals is why they didn't win that game.
Yeah, we're also in the time of the year where the last 3 games now, Darnold, it's we got to step up. We got to step up, buddy. It's the opposite of December.
Is that time of year.
I'm just happy the Seahawks are not in the main slate. I do not have to lose money with Walker anymore, at least for maybe showdown slate, just for old time's sake. But all right, game number 2, second game on the slate. It is Jacksonville, the Jaguars at Denver. Denver -3 at home, 45.5 is the total. Apologies to Trevor Lawrence. I've been bashing him basically all season long. He's shoving that right in my face. I'll take the L. He's been pretty good. Good for him. Tough spot here, obviously, in Denver. Hribar, start wherever you want to start. Jags, Broncos.
Yeah, this is a game that obviously we could see again, potentially.
Yeah, it's important.
Absolutely. Like these could be playoff games. Like, what if this is the AFC Championship game? I know no one wants to hear that. Put that in universe, but
I'm watching Netflix instead.
I want to start with I think I want to start Broncos. I think the Broncos side is more interesting. I think Bo Nix is more interesting.
Okay. I think talking about the Jaguars is more interesting. But yeah, I'll take the Jaguars. You take the Jags side then.
Well, we could do both. It's the same thing. But we've seen the Broncos they've also shifted pass heavy. We've seen Bo Nix really flirt with 300 yards. He's gone 295 or more passing yards in 3 of his past 4 games. Since they lost J.K. Dobbins, they've thrown the ball 8.6% over expectations. Only the Cardinals have a higher pass rate of rotation than the Broncos in that period. They're playing with more tempo, and they're putting more on Bo Nix's plate. And last week, that's one of the best games Bo Nix has played that we saw last week. And we have a lot of questions about Jacksonville in terms of offense and who they've played, and also in terms of defense and who they've played. I mean, you look at their defense is red hot, but they've also last 3 weeks played Cam Ward, Riley Leonard, and Brady Cook the past 3 weeks. They do have that nuke against Justin Herbert, but now that we know kind of where the Chargers are right now, like how impressive is that? To be fair, like they didn't let him get off the mat, so it should count for something. But this is also a team that, since their bye, allowed 27 fantasy points to Davis Mills, 26 points to Geno Smith on the road. Nix obviously is a volatile play, but I think he's the more interesting piece here in terms of upside. I think Lawrence, if you're looking for him to get there, it's more him getting there as like a floor-based QB1. We'll get into that why. But I think Nix actually has ceiling potential here, and that's what makes him the most interesting, I think, of the quarterbacks.
You're going to pair him with who, most likely?
Cortland Sutton, 100%. And especially if Pat Bryant is back, because Pat Bryant isn't a target earner. So the best part about Pat Bryant getting on the field more was it meant more targets for Cortland Sutton, because he doesn't earn targets as well as Troy Franklin. And the second Troy Franklin got more snaps again last week, he started getting the ball again because Troy Franklin gets open. That's
my favorite part of Pat. My favorite part of Pat Bryant being back is that I don't have to play Troy Franklin. Whereas otherwise, Nick's double stacks with Franklin and Sutton, like that's where we're going otherwise.
But Jaguars are 29th in points allowed to wide receiver ones. They face the second most targets to wide receiver ones. Again, we talked about the drop back rate. The other cool part about this too is we talk about the Broncos being pass heavy. They're facing one of the largest pass funnels in the NFL. I mean, this is what you do when you go into Jaguars. Teams have thrown the ball 5% over expectations. The Jaguars, the second highest rate in the league behind the Titans, because they're so dominant as a run defense as well. So I think it's going to be a high drop back game for Bo Nix. Now, could be bad if you get a high drop back game for Bo Nix, but that's why I like him as like the tournament play here.
Bo picks, right? But they are in contention for the number 1 spot there in the AFC. Denver, they're 12-2. They win out. I'm not sure about tiebreaker stuff, but they might not have to leave. Just win 2 home games there in the playoffs. And I realized I made one futures bet to start the season. I bet Denver to win the AFC. So I hope you're right. I will be watching the game if actually they are hosting the AFC. I completely forgot that I made that bet, but there you go. Go Denver. And yeah, Jacksonville certainly does a shot. They're going to be in the playoffs. It's a matter of how things, the pieces fall and the matchups go down. Daigle, you want to clean up the Denver side? It sounds like you want to talk more about Jacksonville.
I'll put a stamp on RJ Harvey's not in my pool, even on a thin week for running backs, just because most rushing yards against Jacksonville all year long was 74 for Jonathan Taylor, and it took him 21 carries to get there. So I do think I'm not going to be on RJ Harvey. I prefer the Nix Sutton side for all the reasons Rich mentioned, especially because the last month, as he talked about the wave of quarterbacks we've seen against Jacksonville, they haven't played anyone at all. And the last time they did play someone, Jacoby Brissett went over 300 yards. The 2 games after their bye, Geno Smith and Davis Mills combined for 6 passing touchdowns against them. So if it's a competent quarterback, and we still don't know if Bo Nix is that, But if he plays like competent Bo Nix, like he genuinely, including the legs, he actually does have 5 touchdowns in his range of outcomes in this game. So yeah, I like Bo Nix a lot here. I'll go to the other side though, just to start on this one because it is a wide target tree. But I think Trevor Lawrence it's interesting what's happening. And that prior to last month, he was the QB 18 in points per game and still basically a project every week, figuring out Liam Cohen's offense. In his last 4 games, though, so much cleaner, not only averaging 4 more points per game than Josh Allen as the overall QB1 the last month, but also just one of 4 quarterbacks averaging over 9 yards per attempt under pressure. But if you're zooming out, however, I do think he's probably learned some things under the hood and just gotten more comfortable in the offense. But also, if you look at the opponents he's faced, it's quite literally 4 defenses we talk about every week on this show because we want to target them in the Cardinals, Titans, Colts without Sauce Gardner, and the Jets defense. And so I think this is a litmus test that could go either way, and we could see Trevor Lawrence potentially push the Jaguars into like a 30-28 shootout here. Definitely could happen. But I think it's questionable enough to where I would much rather be comfortable playing it through Bo Nix's side as opposed to figuring it out in tournaments for a lot of money with Trevor Lawrence.
I'm not sure if I'm the first person saying this, but would you believe these teams have combined to win their last 16 games? It seems kind of crazy, right?
I mean, I still can't believe the Broncos have won the number they have in a row.
11? Yeah.
Because they've played some stinkers in between then, and it's amazing they escaped with wins.
They've won 12 games in a row at home going back to last year, which is the longest streak. I can't remember if we talked about it, but we talked about last week about them just being home dogs, which was such disrespect. And it was so crazy.
I thought it was weird that they're a 3-point favorite against Jacksonville. I mean, I thought it'd be 4, at least 4. 3 kind of just says basically they're essentially the same team. I feel like Denver's a little bit more of a complete team than Jacksonville. Do you guys agree or disagree? Or they're basically in the same? I guess they're.
I think the Broncos are ahead, but you feel good if you're a Jags fan, obviously, about everything that's happened and the trajectory you're on.
Sure, yeah, of course. ETN.
It's because they're. I believe in the Broncos defense is like legitimately like can win a game, and we've seen them win games where the offense was bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they're cleaning up for how bad Nix has been at times. ETN, the absence of Tootin. Tootin's got a finger, so he's not going to be playing at least for the short term. Maybe available in the playoffs. We'll see. ETN, of course, had some games where he was basically getting the entire backfield anyway. How do we feel about ETN, Rich?
I'm out on him this week. I'm fine. Like in your season-long stuff, you're going to probably play him volume-based kind of RB2 here. I mean, sometimes fantasy football, we're right for the wrong reasons. And last week was a big one for Travis Etienne. And I'm grateful to be right for being wrong. I was overweight on Travis Etienne last week. I thought, Jacksonville, home favorite against the Jets, massive run script, against the team that's getting run on. And he was trash running the ball. 12 carries, 32 yards in that game. And then he catches three passes for 73 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had 3 career receiving touchdowns before that. He had more than 31 receiving yards in a game all season. Credit Liam Cohen. He had the Jets linebackers in hell all game. The play design and the Tootin touchdown, because Tootin also caught a touchdown. So the running backs got 4 touchdowns in the game. So it was definitely a rather being lucky than being good, as Etienne got 30 fantasy points in a way that I completely did not project for him to get there. But you look at it now, he has run the ball for 4 yards per carry once since their bye, and that was against the Cardinals, who we just talked about, Bijan. Over the past 3 weeks, he's averaging 3 yards per carry with a 27% success rate. Against the last front-end run defense he faced, which is the Titans, he had 12 carries for 28 yards. He was the RB52 that week. Denver, smothering against the run, man. 3.9 yards per carry. They are 6th in rushing points allowed per game to backfields. They have also only 13% of the receptions against Denver are by running backs. It's the lowest rate in the NFL. Only 1 running back has more than 3 catches in a game against them this season. They allow under 100 yards per game to running backs. Now, they did allow a good game to Josh Jacobs to keep us honest on Sunday, but they've only allowed 3 running backs to score 20 or more fantasy points against them this year. The Jaguars are on the road. They haven't run the ball particularly well. That's why I think like season-long stuff, volume-based stuff, I think is fine. But I think I'm very happy to get the results that I got last week when I shouldn't have gotten them.
Hey, you got to take the victory laps and just point at the scoreboard, because sometimes you get it right and the players just don't execute it, and it wasn't your fault. the thought process, was there. So, take that victory lap when you can get it. Was it Tracy had caught a couple touchdown passes last week as well? There was a couple running backs, not just ETM. I think Tracy had a couple through the air. We even saw.
Yeah, I mean, the two hot ones. Jacobs had the hot one too on the Broncos, and then Tracy's too. But that's what makes the Jags so tricky, though, is because I feel like they're going to get pushed into a drop back game, and like you don't want that to happen against the Broncos.
Who's your favorite pass catcher for Jacksonville? We're not calling ETN a pass catcher. Thomas Myers, one of those two, I imagine. If you got to pick one, didn't sound like you're very enthused about it, Rich.
What's that? The Jags?
Yeah, just your favorite pass catcher. If you're going to run somebody back, or is it good? Is it you have a Thomas lean, a Myers lean, or either one of these?
Yeah, I mean, no, this is what makes it tough. I mean, I think like I said, like you probably are playing like Myers in your season stuff. Broncos have had 5 touchdowns to wide receivers this year. They've had 100-yard receiver and 3 wide receiver 1 scoring weeks. Like, I just don't. Even if you hit, like, I just don't see the ceiling for these guys. I feel like even if Lawrence gets there for fantasy at his price. So Lawrence has had 5 games this year against top 10 pass defenses. And he's had 7.8 points, 15 points, 9.8, 19.2. And then he had the 26.2 against the Chiefs. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in that game. Yeah. So like, I feel like even if he gets there, you're looking at probably like something like in the 17 to 19 point range. And like at his price, like that's just not going to do it.
I like Brenton Strange coming back from Bo Nix just because it doesn't kill a wide receiver spot. It's still a cheap spin down at tight end. The Broncos are allowing over 8.5 targets per game to tight ends. And before they played Luke Musgrave this past week, and the Packers tight ends did combine for 7 catches. Musgrave had 13 yards per catch, but Brock Bowers, Zach Ertz, and Travis Kelce all finished as tight end 1s against Denver before the Packers this past week. So I think Brenton Strange is a fine, like just cheap run back if you play Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton.
Daigle, did you fire off your Denver takes?
Yeah, Cortland Sutton, I completely agree with. And Troy Franklin, I think, is a great play. He was a great play last week, first of all, because Pat Bryant was ruled out. But if Pat Bryant doesn't return, you can also play him with Bo Nix if you think they both get there. If Pat Bryant plays, like Rich said, you could drop Troy Franklin season long. You're never playing him as long as Pat Bryant's in. So it's a pretty easy split. And then for Jacksonville, like I said, I spin down on Brenton Strange. I think that's the best way to go. But also Brian Thomas is, in terms of efficiency, 20th in yards per route run. He's second in the NFL in yards per catch, 26.5 against man coverage. And so I don't know if you're going to get the opportunity, but you can always like squeak one by if that's how you want to play it.
All right. Game number 3. We're going to talk, position by position players we've not yet talked about as far as the games. The 3 games are featuring in a second after we knock out this game. We're going to talk about F1. We all watched F1 on the Apple. Going to be discussing that as well. Game number 3 is Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh at Detroit. Another game in a dome, 51.5 total. Detroit is a 7-point favorite, biggest total on the board. There are several big totals. Cincinnati, Miami's around 50. The Chargers and Dallas around 50. And several that are hovering around 40 and even lower. Vegas, Houston, KC, Tennessee, looking at you. Daigle.
I mean, the Raiders have, I think, an 11-point team total.
They do. It's 11?
Yeah, I think it's 11.
I mean, they had 75 yards of net offense last week. It's just Ashton Genty, like for as bad as he was, he accounted for 56% of their yards. Like it's so
misleading.
bad.
It's a misleading stat.
Don't tell them how many yards, just the percentage.
Oh, you had a big game? No.
Daigle.
Pittsburgh and Detroit. Detroit still has they got a puncher's chance, right, to make the playoffs. They got to win out, and they need some help.
They still play the Bears too.
Yep. They play the Bears on Saturday. No, wait, that's the Packers. Packers, Bears, and Lions are still fighting at the top there. It's wide open still. But let's start with the Steelers side, actually. I think I'm most excited about here. Against the Lions over the last month, and this was kind of the argument we made for Matthew Stafford and the Rams last week. You just now look at what the Lions, with all their injuries on defense, are allowing. Jameis Winston had over 10 yards per attempt. Jordan Love threw for 4 touchdowns. Dak threw for 370. Stafford last week, 9.5 yards per attempt and scored 20 points in a game. They lost Devontae Adams after the half. And so right now, regardless of the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, we'd be talking about any quarterback in any main slate against Detroit. But I am interested in Rodgers actually as a spin down option. One, he's $100 more than JJ McCarthy, the cash game quarterback on DraftKings at least. So you're already getting unique there. And on the year, Rodgers has been bad against man coverage, 35th completion rate, 30th in yards per attempt. The Lions do lead the league in man coverage the last 5 weeks despite their injuries. But these past 2 games, which have actually been Rodgers' best of the year, 8.3, 8.4 yards per attempt the last 2 weeks. In this 2-game stretch, a small sample against man coverage, he's 10 of 16 for 13.3 yards per attempt. And it's kind of all tilted with DK Metcalf because also in the last 2 games, perhaps because they have no one else to throw to, they're just sprinkling it all around him. But he is being targeted this last 2 games on 38% of his routes against man coverage for 6.7 yards per route run, an absurd number. And that goes against, from week 13 before, how he was actually just sprinkled more against zone coverage, oddly enough. And so DK Metcalf against this secondary, Aaron Rodgers, cheap spin down options. I really think those are going to be heavy in my pool this week.
Yeah, Rich, I always have a hard time with Pittsburgh, but yeah, this is a great spot. Rodgers doesn't move, so he's got to get the 303, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then trying to figure out who he throws the ball to. Metcalf is the best option. And then, I have no idea when MVS is going to score his random touchdown or which of the 3 tight ends. You can't assume. I guess Jonnu ran one.
4. You gotta include Tush Push Cam Hayward, so 4.
You're right. Yeah. Freiermuth, big boy, Darnell Washington, who they're still listing at 2. He's listed at like 265. I'm not here to shame.
The greatest lie ever told.
It's like 265. Are you serious? Yeah. 265? Like, come on.
That dude's been 350 since Georgia.
I just don't know who's going to score, Rich. So, I don't know how to play Pittsburgh. You tell me how to play him.
Yeah, I think it's just DK Metcalf. I mean, if you wanted to try to get cute with Kenneth Gainwell, dude, Rodgers doesn't go out of his way to talk about many dudes, but God, he loves some Kenneth Gainwell. Like he talks about Kenneth Gainwell like he's a child, man, like one of his kids. And like Rodgers, like he's very much in curmudgeon status at this stage of his life. But man, he glows whenever he talks about Kenneth Gainwell. And Kenny,
I like curmudgeon Rodgers more than I like whatever he was doing with the Jets. Whatever that version of Rodgers was, I think this is better. The Pittsburgh cold Rodgers.
I do also like Rodgers too. His beard changes color based on how well he's playing. It's like a health bar in a video game. Like when he's playing in that game 2 weeks ago against Buffalo, it just became white. It had no color to it at all. And there was a point on Monday where he was like Ryan Day. It was cut. You thought dude, are you just color this? But it just feeds his power. It's when he's playing well, it's just his beard gets darker. So you gotta watch it during the game. You'll know how the game is going based on how he's looking. But yeah.
We need some animators for that bit and throw it on TikTok or something.
But over the past 4 games, Kenneth Gainwell has 20% of the Pittsburgh targets. He's the RB5 now in target share. He leads all running backs now in target rate per out run. So, and he's been more efficient than Jaylen Warren in the run game too. So, he's interesting, but you saw Warren's still there. And you can get the rug pulled on you anytime. Plus, what kind of ceiling are we talking about? Are we just getting there with Gainwell? What kind of ceiling is there? So that's what makes it so tough with all these Pittsburgh guys outside of DK Metcalf. Is it's more of a sum of parts than so. I don't think I would play any of those guys, but it is interesting.
It's a different problem, Rich, for Detroit. We know who to play. We know.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's just a salary thing. We know to play Gibbs. We know to play Amon-Ra. That's super, super simple. It's just how do you make them work under the salary? Do we prioritize Gibbs? Do we prioritize Amon-Ra? What say you?
Yeah, they had 38 targets last week, and 35 of them went to Amon-Ra, Gibbs, and Jameson Williams. Yeah, 35 of 38. That's what we love. Dan Campbell understands the assignment. Get the ball to your best football players. None of this stuff with Isaac Tesla, no Khalif Raymond, no whatever Jamoke is playing tight end for them. Nope. Best guys get the football. That's what we appreciate. The other thing about this game is the Steelers are tracking to be without both TJ Watt and Nick Herbig in this game. Herbig left the game Monday with a hamstring injury. These are by far their 2 best pass rushers. Herbig and Watt are number 1, number 2 in pressures and sacks on the team. With Herbig off the field this season, they are 31st in touchdown rate because he missed some time earlier in the season. With Watt off the field, they're 31st in completion rate, 20th in touchdown rate. And if you don't pressure Goff, we know the story. You know what's happening. Good luck. When Goff hasn't been pressured, he's 2nd in completion rate, 4th in the yards per pass attempt, 2nd in touchdown rate. So if you're not going to breathe on Goff, you're coming down your best 2 pass rushers in Detroit. I mean, this could be a game where it's a slice them up game for this passing game too. They impact the run game too, like being out those guys as well. So the Steelers have faced 167 runs with Hribar on the field, and they've allowed 4 yards per carry and a run of 10 or more yards on 7.2% of those. They faced 159 backfield runs with him off the field, 4.9 yards per carry, an explosive run on 13.8% of those runs. They are getting Derek Harmon back, which is a good get for them on the defensive line. But being down Herbig and Watt be absolutely massive here. The other thing too about the Steelers is this game kind of doesn't matter for them. Like they just have to beat the Ravens again. So like they might not rush either of those guys back, like, and just make sure they're healthy for when they play the Ravens again. Like the Steelers are staring down the barrel of like, we've got one assignment and it's beat the Ravens in a few weeks.
Are you telling me the Steelers are positioned to be 9-8 once again? Is that what's going to happen? As it always does? Like, I was going to say 500. I guess that's not possible anymore with 17 games. But, you could always count on Philip Rivers being, with the ball down 1 score, no matter how old he is. And we can always count on the Steelers being within striking distance of being 9-8 or 8-8 or 10-6 or whatever it may be. Was that a Ty God situation with TJ Watt? Was that a self-induced the collapsed lung? That was the team doctor, right? Is that similar? I think that was a rib for Ty God a couple of years ago with the Chargers.
Yeah, he had Tyrod had broken a rib or something, right? And it was an injection.
Isn't it something? Wasn't it an injection and they accidentally collapsed his lung? Isn't that what happened here? I think that's what happened. Am I making that up? I thought I read that with Watt.
Whatever dry needling is, I didn't really get the look on it.
I don't know what that is.
They said that they were hopeful that he might come back this week, but there's no reason for him to. So and he didn't practice today, so we'll see what happens. But this game kind of doesn't matter to the Steelers.
Interesting. Do they have to win one of the? I guess they
just have to beat the Ravens.
Okay. All right. Because I'm seeing that they have according to I was looking at the playoffstatus.com, and they're saying Pittsburgh's got a 83% chance of making it to the first round. I was wondering if there's another route, because just being Baltimore, they wouldn't be 83%, I wouldn't think. But maybe they haven't. Is that game in Pittsburgh? I haven't looked that far ahead. I presume.
Yeah, they played in Baltimore. They beat them in Baltimore.
Okay. All right. So they will be favored in that game. Daigle, how much are you prioritizing this Detroit offense? It is, to a lesser degree, but certainly more so of late. JMO has been unleashed. Amon-Ra, Gibbs. Who would you start with if you had to play one of these Lions? Is it Gibbs we building around, or are we building around Amon-Ra? We touched on how we don't really love the running back position as a whole. So maybe positionally, just say, hey, get one of the best running backs. Of course, you can play them both. You can do that too. And, get a big chunk of this offense.
I still personally prefer Amon-Ra. Steelers are still allowing the 5th most points per game to slot receivers. And so it's scary when you say that, because now in 3 consecutive games, Jameson Williams has 9 targets. And guess what happens when you give Jameson Williams 9 targets per game? Exactly what you think happens when you let him do crossing routes and you just pepper him over the middle. But I do like spending up for Amon-Ra in this slate when we're talking about those 3. And I think you can in this slate as well.
All right.
Whereas last week when we talked about it, that's why Rich said to play it through Goff, because it's really hard when you start doing Stafford, Devontae, and Puka, and then try Amon-Ra on the other side.
You can do Goff, Amon-Ra, JMO, and Metcalf, and just get all your receivers in this game. You could do that. I think it's something that's in play. Anything else of note? Anything else we should point out here as far as Pittsburgh, Detroit, or shall we run it back and knock out our favorite players position by position?
I still think David Montgomery, I've been on him as a pivot in the past, but he really just the past month with Dan Campbell calling plays has become touchdown or bust. Even the one against the Cowboys that he scored was more of a longer 20-yard run as opposed to the goal line. So it just gets really thin beyond the 4 players we talked about for the Lions.
They're a bad running team this year. It's they're at the bottom of the league in success rate running. Obviously, interior line, they've had a lot of changes. They're 28th, though, in success rate as running team. They've just had spike weeks when Gibbs hits the home runs. But Gibbs has been very volatile as a runner this entire season. I mean, last week, again, was another story. I mean, over the past 3 weeks, he's only rushed for 3.3 yards per carry. He's rushed for over 4 yards per carry in just 2 of his past 7 games.
Yeah, he was bad. He was bad in that Cowboys game. We talked about that last week.
He just got touchdowns. Yeah,
he
touchdown
just scored 3
deodorant.
touchdowns.
Well, and he's getting used so heavily as a receiver. I know it didn't amount to much last week, but he still had 7 targets. Since Dan Campbell took over in the 6 games, he's the RB2 in target share. So like you always have that out too as well. But I do prefer. I still think I prefer Bijan and A-Chain to him.
Yeah, it's just the slate breaking ability. We've seen it 3 times in the last 6 weeks. 9.8 points on DK, 37, 11, 58, which is
it's just whenever he's popular, I want to just play golf, man. I want to play golf in these receivers.
Yeah. As a leverage play, it's certainly something to consider.
Well, and especially if those guys be out, like that's something just to watch. Like, if we get news on Saturday, like Herbig and Watt could be back, like that changes the dynamic a little bit. It's just, we're looking at it on Wednesday out from here. And it's like, man, if they're going to be down their 2 best pass rushers against Jared Goff, who we know, like if you don't touch it, like.
Well, you can play him with Gibbs. You can play them together.
Yeah. You just can't play all 4. You can't play all 4.
No. Because you're really going to be straight.
J-Mo's like slowly matriculated in price because everyone's been playing because he's been the cheapest lion for a month.
He's earned it.
Oh, yeah, he should be more, to be honest.
We complain about all the prices. By the way, shout out to you. Ricky Pearsall was a hell of a call for you, Rich, last week. Who, he was on his way to, I think, 100 yards.
Needed 2 more, man. I live bet him for 100 in the game, too, and he finished at 97 or 98. So,
did you ladder him by chance last week?
I had stuff, but like I had live stuff that wasn't, there that he just missed short. He even caught a pass the last play he got extra hurt on. Caught a pass and was thinking, well, he got hurt the very first play of the game.
Yeah.
And then came back and was balling, and then he got hurt in the last play, and we probably won't see him again the rest of the season.
And Jacory Crosky-Barrett also got injured in the last play before he got the bonus 4 yards away.
It's probably the arbitrary yard marker, man. It's the gift and the curse. You hate it and then love it at the same time.
Yeah, it's stupid until it works out in your favor. It's like, oh yeah, this makes a ton of sense.
Those 3 extra points matter. I need those 3 points, man. I'll tell you.
They do matter. They definitely matter. All right, that is our 3 main games. Going to run it back, fair plays, position by position. Do want to mention, if you're residing in Missouri, check out the link in our show description. Sports betting. Sports betting is now a thing in Missouri. We have the best promo codes for signing up for all the different sports books there for you online. The link in the description here at the YouTube. Also want to mention, if you do not want to fully commit to RG content for the NFL season, and we're at week 16, so understandable, you can get yourself a taste. You can get yourself a 3-day pass, get access to everything you need for a specific slate. Time it just right. Time it right, because you want to consider showdown stuff, the Saturday games as well. Get that at the right time. You'll get the optimizer tool, Lineup HQ, which is packed with player projections, ownership projections, ownership percentages, much, much more. You also get SimLabs. SimLabs NFL, the easiest way to build smart, competitive lineups in just a few clicks. All that, 3 days, less than $10. Check out the link in the description. Okay, let's circle back. I'm curious how gross it's going to get as far as the quarterbacks. Daigle, get us started. What quarterbacks are we considering amongst the games we've yet to really discuss?
I do want to. He's so cheap that if you want to play him there, that's fine. But when we talk about the ownership and cash games trickling into tournaments, I do want to just heed a little bit of a warning about JJ McCarthy, and probably the reason I'll be off of him in tournaments. And that's because under new defensive coordinator the past couple of games around their bye, the Giants have blitzed on 43% of their dropbacks, the 3rd highest rate in the league in that time. And even the last 2 games where McCarthy has played his best games of the season, 6 yards per attempt and 30th in EPA per dropback against the blitz, 1 turnover. So yeah, I think I'm going to be off McCarthy in tournaments. And Justin Herbert, to add more context there, without Quentin Williams, the Cowboys have allowed 8.5 yards per attempt. Average quarterbacks actually in that span were averaging the longest time from snap to throw. They basically had the most time in the world, just stand back there and deliver. So Justin Herbert, I would imagine, would catch some ownership as well. My 2 wild cards I have beyond those popular options are, 1, Baker Mayfield, who has been bad, but the gang was all back together last week on Thursday night. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, and Baker Mayfield averaged 14 air yards per throw for 9.8 yards per attempt when he had a clean pocket. and the Panthers are dead last in reaching opposing quarterbacks. How you stack him without playing all four, that's an interesting conversation to have when we get to wide receivers. But I do think Baker Mayfield's interesting. And then also Joe Montana himself, Tyler Shuck. Trevor Lawrence just scored 6 touchdowns against the Jets. I think that's the only thing I really need to say. But also, without Quinnen Williams since week 10, the Jets are giving quarterbacks the 3rd highest clean pocket rate to throw from. Shuck also has 6 carries now in 4 consecutive games. When I look at spending down for a quarterback, and I still like Aaron Rodgers in that game, all we talked about, but when you also mention, like, what happens if all the dominoes were to fall correctly for a quarterback? Tyler Shuck could score 4 touchdowns by himself in that game. So I think he's a good play.
Is Shuck the quarterback next year right now, Daigle?
Probably.
They have such an early pick, but what happened also in favor of Shuck, not only playing really well the last month, not only, by the way, 25-1 to be offensive player of the year, and should probably be lower than that. Because he could sneak up if offensive rookie of the year. Because if Travion Henderson is in a committee, and we've seen so many weird things with Mike Vrabel that despite Henderson's performance, it could still be a timeshare. Shuck has an opportunity against this week the Jets, next week the Titans, I believe. He could easily sneak up and be like the offensive rookie of the year. So, but also what I was going to mention, the wild card is that every college quarterback is bad. Just go back to that Heisman performance, and none of those guys should have been up there. They were only up there due to what happened across the nation. So I think the fact that the NFL doesn't want to draft a quarterback this year, that also tells you the Saints probably feel pretty safe with an early pick.
And the first 5 or 6 teams aren't desperate for quarterback as well.
Archie Manning's going back. There's just, they will get drafted for sure in the first round, but every quarterback in the first round is a project.
And by the way, if you're stacking Shook, I assume Olave, Juwan Johnson, you prefer one over the other. I guess you can double it too.
I'll talk a little bit about Audric Estime when we get there.
Okay. Oh, does he catch passes? I don't know much about Estime.
He's Stone Min. I know that.
Yeah. All right, Rich, quarterbacks, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I also had Baker on my list. Also, with everyone back, the Buccaneers threw the ball 14% over expectations, their highest rate in a game this season. That game has potential to be good too. Obviously, it matters. We need to coax Dave Canales out of his run first ways. But if we can, he did throw the ball heavily both times against the Bucs last year, so maybe we can. So that game has potential to be fun too. I have a couple other guys in that game too. I'll probably stack that game up a little bit as well, but I had Baker on my list. Shuck too is on there. You can go back to Stroud. I'm not as into Stroud this week as I was last week though. One, because the field's going to chase it, and I just don't believe the Raiders are going to push back at all. And I think that's the concern. I was excited to play Stroud because I knew I'd get extra possessions because the Cardinals are just going to throw so much.
Yeah,
the Raiders are just so bad, man. So I'm not as excited, but he's on there because I think it's a favorable spot. He's indoors, high team total. Raiders last 5 weeks fought a league high completion rate, 27th yards per pass, and 31st touchdown rate. So I think it's good. If T. Higgins plays, Emo Burrow is in play. Yeah, he's going through it, man. He's going through it, man. There's
all sorts of rumors. He's going to retire. He's going to get traded to Minnesota.
And I hope he's well. I don't mean that flippantly. I hope Burrow's if he's going through some stuff really, I hope he's fine. But he's definitely wearing it on his sleeve right now. But I think I talked about this even last week when I was not crazy. I was man, whenever Burrow doesn't have T. Higgins, I'm always worried. And it's the same thing. It's his best game was that Bills game. And same thing, he had him on the field. So if he plays and he was practicing today, but not cleared protocol, just something to keep in. The Dolphins slowed down the mighty Brady Cook 2 weeks ago, but since then, they've Aaron Rodgers got him for 17 points on Monday night. Also had his highest completion rate since 2014. The week before, Shuck got him for 17 points. They're giving up points. So if T. Higgins is back, I like him. And then we've got the two really, really gross guys. We got to talk about Quinn Ewers at least the spot that he's in. Well, one thing, there's a range of outcomes where Quinn Ewers, the prospect, was once tracking to be a borderline first round pick, or at worst a round 2, round 3 pick. Plays with the oblique injury, whether or not you want to credit that or not, but his His ADOT completely falls off of a map from 2024 to in 2024 to 2023. He's clearly hurt though to some degree. He has a bunch of stuff manufactured. Only 16.4% of his passes his last year in Texas came without play action, motion, or screens. Is the lowest rate in his class. He threw 28% of his passes behind the line of scrimmage, the highest rate in this draft class. Well, Mike McDaniel's is going to ask him to do the same shit. Like, that's all he's going to do. And he's facing the worst defense in the NFL. So he's min priced. The worry that you have is that, obviously if the Miami Dolphins are allowed to run the football, which is well within the range of outcomes in this game, they will absolutely just run the football. So, but he's min priced. He's interesting. And then I have to bring up Minshew at least still too. He lost a little bit of steam today with Rashee Rice. Man, if Rashee Rice was going to be active, I think Minshew was going to be the cash game chalk, because the Titans, again, we talked about it, like they are a stone cold pass funnel, and they are terrible at defending the pass because they lost other cornerbacks during the course of the season. I mean, this is a team that they've allowed now 8 QB1 scores in a row, and guys like Davis Mills, 30-point game to Shedeur Sanders. They face the highest pass rate over expectation. So I still think he's moderately interesting at his price because, like, Andy Reid has never been one that needs coaxed into throwing the football. And I think there's enough still here, potentially with Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce, that, like, I don't know if he's going to make my pool because I would feel more bullish Rashee Rice, but still think he's interesting at this price point. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of quarterbacks, though.
I know TJ producing. I'm not sure if he's had a chance to look at the week, but TJ always talks about like the cheap stacks, like cheap quarterback, cheap receivers. Minshew 4.5, Worthy 4.4, Hollywood 3.9. You mentioned Kelce at 4.7. Like you can get a cheap Kansas City stack and get good stuff around it if that's something you're interested in. I was looking at go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's kind of the point of the other guys we mentioned too. Rodgers, like you can go straight to Metcalf. Ewers. The ball goes 3 places. Jalen Waddle, Achane, Waller. Play them all. Run it back with Jamar Chase. Congratulations. Like all the Tyler Shuck, like with Bailey out, now it's really just Juwan Johnson and Chris Olave. Like it's pretty easy to find where the targets go for all the cheap guys. So that's kind of the pushback against Gardner Minshew, who I would play as well if we had Rashee Rice. The Rice really burned it.
Yeah, and Sean and Chat talk about the Chiefs O-line, which is a wreck, but so was the Browns when they give 30 points to Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. Like, so is the Texans. Like there's
going to be big guys that were trained to block that are going to be trying to do their best. They're not the best necessarily, but you don't necessarily have to be. Ewers doesn't move. He doesn't scoot, which is my issue. I know he's super cheap. So whatever, beggars and choosers. But I was looking at his college stats, 57 attempts, negative 82 yards. That means probably doesn't. Not you lose yardage for sacks in college, obviously.
He was also a guy that transferred his last year into a situation where he didn't have enough reps with his program before then. And so he was also changing offensive coordinators. And like Rich said, maybe it was the injury, maybe it was not, but running a different offense. He was just a guy that even when he entered the portal, everyone questioned because he was trending towards being the number 1 overall pick, similar to Drake May. And it was way too early to leave. Like he should have got more reps before making that choice. And his stock obviously plummeted to day 3 for it.
All right. You guys are both answering hundreds of questions in your chats on your site, so I'm going to give you one more. My brother's season-long team, which I manage, he very much counts on me to win this. C.J. Stroud versus Lamar Jackson.
It's Lamar for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They say, dance with who brought you there. Lamar didn't bring me there. We won in spite of Lamar.
No, but Lamar's been better the last couple games. Like everyone's still acting like Lamar is the fringe QB1 that he was the month when he came back from injury. But the last 2 games, he's been fun. He's been like a middle of the road QB1.
Okay.
Last week just got weird, but he actually had his highest yards per pass of the game, and he had his highest passing points of the game. The Bengals had a 16-play drive that ended in a pick 6, and then had another 11-play drive after that and just nuked the game. They ran 40 offense plays.
Yep.
But he was going to cook it. Dean, Zay Flowers almost scored 3 touchdowns last week. He got 1. He was only allowed to have. The universe was like, hold on. The universe intervened again. And they're like, you got 1, brother.
Lamar's been good.
Gets 3.
That was a sick throw too by Lamar on his touchdown. But
Chad says, "Wow, the Shedeur. That's pretty good fun there. You're throwing shade there at Sanders, Rich.
You can't play Shedeur Sanders against Sean McDermott. Maybe you can. You can. Actually, don't let me tell you that you can't. You can.
Josiah Anderson in chat. Let's knock out some running backs. Hribar, who's left for us as far as some RBs?
It's tough right now in these streets at running back. My initial thought is to just jam in Bijan and Devin Achane. I still think Devin Achane's gonna be fine. If he's gonna track to be like sub 10%, I mean, I will gladly play him. I mean, he leads all running backs in yards per carry, explosive run rate. 50% of his runs are outside zone runs, the fourth highest rate. The Bengals are 31st in defending outside zone. They're 30th in rushing points allowed per game. They also are suck. They also have allowed the most receiving points to running backs. So what do we get here? All the stuff, right? They allow 20 more yards per game, total yards, to any other team to running backs. They just allowed 198 yards to Baltimore running backs in a game where the Ravens just ran 40 plays. So I'm in on Achane still. Like because what was the bar with Tua? Like Tua was doing nothing. So like how much worse can it get? I understand
it can't be much worse. I don't think yours can't be worse.
Against the worst defense in the NFL, I still think the bar is high for Achane. I think he's getting the football a lot against the worst run defense at home. And I hope Emo Burrow's cooking and we can run him back. We could do, Burrow, Achane, Chase.
I was surprised to see this disparity we had with Bijan and Gibbs versus Achane. I thought it'd be kind of like the three of them kind of grouped together, and that's not the way we have it right now. This stuff can change, of course, but we have Bijan and Gibbs kind of in their own tier, and then Achane the next guy up, about 5 points less as far as projection on DK. You want to fire up somebody else, or you want to ping pong back and forth?
I only had one other guy on my list, and I don't even want to play him, and it was Aaron Jones. But I don't even want to play him; it's just by default.
Aaron Jones isn't on my list, so go ahead. I got 3.
I mean, it's just again like we're still here with the Giants, right? Like the second Chris Rodriguez was rolled out, it was just jammed Jakrowski Merritt in as much stuff as you could on Sunday morning. I mean, no one allows more points per touch to running backs than the Giants. They're worst rushing defense league. They allow 5.9 yards per carry to running backs. They have the lowest success rate. They allow the most explosive runs to running backs as well at 16%. So they're also like the Bengals. They are bad against receiving backs as well. The one concern is that Jordan Mason's gotten more involved recently because they extended Aaron Jones' workload in the middle of the season, and he started to get banged up again. Because the whole reason they got Jordan Mason last year is because Aaron Jones broke down last year. Like they were forced to give him a higher workload than they intended, and Aaron Jones broke down. And the second he started to break down again, they started playing Jordan Mason again. So I think it's going to still be a split backfield, and that's why I don't love him. It's just right now it's not really good out there. And we'll see if Dale can sell me on these jamokes he's going to push.
Go for it.
Just a couple jamokes. The one good one that, again, I don't know where we have the salary for it, but I'm still going to mention James Cook because since the Browns returned from their bye, the fewest points in RB1 is scored against Cleveland, who have really flip-flopped with the Dolphins and like becoming the league's best run defense to one of the league's worst run defense was Christian McCaffrey. And he scored 17.5 against Cleveland. He had 24 touches in that game, though. The last 2 weeks, DeAndre Swift and Tony Pollard both scored 22 fantasy points with 2 touchdowns each against Cleveland. So the Bills are double-digit road favorites. We're on the road where Josh Allen scores fewer fantasy points. So I do like James Cook here if he's going to catch low ownership. The two that are thin, but I'm going to mention anyways, just because I don't know what I'm going to do with my flex spot. So just in case they come in behind the expensive guys, one, it's not even a good matchup, but I'm curious to keep an eye on Tony Pollard's ownership. James Cook and Saquon Barkley, the only running backs to rush for over 80 yards against the Chiefs this year. But one, I have no idea where Kansas City's heads are at since they've never been in this position in a decade where they're playing for nothing this time of the year. The line also flipped by a full 8 points whenever Patrick Mahomes got ruled out. Wow. So we could be looking at Tennessee just running the ball heavily. And the last 2 weeks, Pollard has not only performed better, but commanded 77% of the team's running back carry. So I think like a mid-priced Pollard is interesting and what could be a favorable game script for Tennessee. And then Audric Estime is the cheapie with Tyler Shucker without him. And it's only because, again, without Quinnen Williams since week 10 on, the Jets are 27th in EPA per carry, 3 of the 6 running back ones they faced in that time have reached 30 fantasy points. And I'm not saying Estime is going to score 30, but that's how bad they've been, is they're allowing nuclear spots to opposing running backs. And Estime is my pick because he not only saw 100% of the team's running back targets whenever Devin Neal left that game in the first quarter, but he also ran 15 routes to Evan Hull's 8. So I think he's the one that is the best chance of getting there. And like 20 points at 5K is what his price is, the chat's telling me, is certainly in his range of outcomes.
The problem is they're going to play both dudes.
That's my.
They could. Yeah, they probably will a little bit. But I do think there's a path for Estime to still be like Gainwell over Warren. Not to that extent, but it's such a good matchup.
Players that I know very little about. I wasn't sure much about. I heard the name, but I don't know much about Estime. I fired up the player profiler, and his comp does not get me excited. It's Jordan Howard. So there you go.
Yeah,
Jordan Howard had some 20-point games.
Evan Hall was a hot prospect of them streets for a while too, man.
Yeah.
They got all the guys. Devin Neal, like they were just soaking him up.
I mean, home favorite, right? You never know. How playable or unplayable? You guys talked about that Tampa-Carolina game. The game matters of what these teams really want to win. They're going to see each other again in a couple weeks. Bucky Irving, I mean, you guys saw it, I'm sure. Sean Tucker, I guess they just basically he's the goal line back. That's what it's going to be. And you can certainly play Bucky, and he can get there from outside the 5, outside the 10. But is that a hard click, Bucky Irving, just because you're almost definitely going to lose those goal line carries? I see you nodding your head, Rich.
The problem is that they're just wasting snaps on Rachaad White. We would live with Bucky Irving just losing goal line carries to Sean Tucker, because it kind of makes sense for Sean Tucker to be a goal line back, because Bucky Irving's been really bad in the red zone. He's dead last in conversion rate in the red zone this season. Now, some of that samples impact because he was out or whatever, but he has the worst success rate, and Sean Tucker's a bigger back. But Rachaad White, for some reason, just like played snaps and didn't do anything. Like he just played snaps. Like he just played 40%. It didn't do anything though. He only had 2 touches. He played 25 snaps and 2 touches. Like, what do you do here, sir? Like, please tell me what is you do here? So they just have him running out there too. Like, so that's the other problem, is that you kind of have a third ghost guy still here too. But yeah, I'm into the Bucs passing game though, and into this game. I'm into that game to stack up in general.
Well, we can talk about that. I think. Is there any more running backs, or is that it? We're moving along. I think. Yes. Receiver.
Yeah. I'm good at running back.
Rich, you want to open up with the Bucs receiver?
I think it's pretty clearly Mike Evans. Whenever he's played, he's just been the guy that commanded targets. He again targeted on 31.4% of his routes. Leads the team in yards per out run. We know what you're going to get with the Panthers because we just got it with the Falcons. A bunch of cover 3 and single high. This is what they do. And that's where Mike Evans gets peppered. If you give Baker single high, he's going to let Mike Evans try to win. On the small sample this season, he's been targeted on 29% of his routes, over 2 yards per run against cover 3. And if you buy, he's kind of the lead dog here, and he's just the wide receiver 1. I mean, that's Carolina's 27th points allowed to wide receiver 1s this season, 29th. In yards per target to those receivers too as well. So I think it's just Evans. I'm not even going to try to get cute and guess the other guys. I do think that like Igbuka's fine, but like you don't have the price dip, right, Dean? Like we talked about it. Like you want the price to go down when it changes, and it doesn't happen.
I make it cute. I may play some Jalen McMillan and larger field for sure.
That's cute. That's definitely cute.
He still started the game. He ran 7 fewer routes than Ibuka. There's coach speak, for whatever that means. They said they're going to play McMillan more this week. But also, you got to remember the last month of the season, McMillan quite literally won their fantasy league, 4 touchdowns. He got stuffed at the goal line on Thursday night. He could have scored one there. So I do think like it's literally 1 touchdown, and Baker has rapport with them. So I don't mind Evans and McMillan, but Evans definitely on my list.
I'm doing the game log thing now with Ibuka, and I'm getting angry because 10 points, 3 points, 8 points, 6 points, 9 points, and he's still 5'9" on DK. Like, what are we doing here? Like, how is that possible? The funny thing, wasn't he too cheap to start the year? Wasn't he like way too cheap out the gate?
That's how it always goes, because early in the season they're so slow to raise pricing, and then
but like relative to everybody else, he was even more cheap.
But then remember also though, he was getting out targeted heavily by Mike Evans. It was just Ibuka who was scoring long touchdowns, and so we knew that was coming to a crash eventually.
Daigle, besides the Tampa game, what else do we have as far as receivers that we're looking at?
Yeah, I got a couple more. If you get involved in this dumb little Saints game, I'll still play AD Mitchell. Mitchell actually has as many end zone targets as Trey McBride does from Brady Cook the last couple games. So we at least know the one player who can score touchdowns for them. So I select AD Mitchell. And then if you want to run it back, I'm not going to go up the gut and play the guessing game between Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. Just because I think it could. I joined Eric Bachman on the FFPC hour last week, and he mentioned about like how confident are you in starting Chuba Hubbard? Because remember, that's where the scales were 2 weeks ago. And I said, I'm not confident at all because it's just very clearly a hot hand backfield you don't want a part of. It could easily flip any week. And that's what happened. Rico Dowdle was suddenly the RB1. It could once again be Chuba Hubbard being the RB1, and you wouldn't be shocked at all. I think I'd rather just chase Jalen Coker personally, who the last 2 games around Carolina's bye does lead the team with a 20.5% target share. His range of outcomes includes just being better than Tech McMillan, who popped up the injury report for the rest of the year. Coker's also super cheap if you're trying to get into this game. So I like Coker a lot when you're running back the Bucs passing game.
Rich, who else you got for me?
Yeah, I also had Coker over Tet because Coker will probably get Jamil Dean more, and the Bucs are still, even though every time Jamil Dean plays, the wide receiver one does not do much. I mean, he's only allowed a 44% catch rate. He's allowed 0 touchdowns in his coverage. He probably should have given one up on Thursday, but David Sills was so open, he got in his head on how to catch that ball. I've been there before. When you're that, you start thinking about the catch instead of making the catch. But I like Coker because Zion McCollum got hurt in that game as well. He's going to be out. The Buccaneers are going to Benjamin Morrison, Jacob Parrish, and coverage, here. So it's I like the spot for Coker just playing cheap. If we're going to see that. Chris Olave is not cheap, but it's really wild that Chris Olave is impacted by Devon Vele's absence, but here we are. Vele actually had out-targeted Chris Olave the previous 4 games. Him and Chuck obviously had something going on. And then the second Vele left that game, Olave had 39% of the team targets and over 4 yards per out run. He got just peppered. He had 1 catch before the final 2 drives in that game, and then literally caught a pass on 4 straight plays. And then he scored a touchdown, and they got the ball back, and he had a catch before the QB draw that got the hit and the unnecessary roughness. But the rest of the Saints receivers with Vele out are Mason Tipton, Dante Pettis, and Kevin Austin. These dudes aren't earning any targets. So it could be a game where against the Jets, Olave really has a really dumb target share, 35, 40%, something really crazy in this game. So I like him. And then Daigle brought up Herbert. And I think this one we're going to have to follow the status of Quentin Johnston. But obviously Ladd, I like Ladd if he plays because he's got the Amon-Ra inside-outside thing, and the Cowboys are equal opportunity point givers to wide receivers. But Trey Harris, we've seen Quentin Johnston miss 2 games. And Keenan Allen's role hasn't changed either game. He's just done the same thing. But Trey Harris ran around on 82% of the dropbacks. He had 5 targets. He's another one of those guys that's just cheap, playing one of the worst defenses in the NFL. That would be kind of a guy to take a shot on if Quentin Johnston is out.
He's looking like the best 3K-ish player on DK right now that I'm seeing.
How much is Jalen McMillan?
Hold on.
Well, he's got to have 30 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I'm going to come back next week, and I'm going to laugh at everyone. 3-8. Okay. So that is actually pretty expensive for Jalen McMillan.
Assuming Johnston's out, I should have said that as far as the qualifier, like Rich gave. But
you need Johnston to be. If Johnston plays, that message.
We lose Oronde Gadsden too if Johnston plays.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that's 4K or less?
Well, I said I think Worthy is still in play.
Yeah.
Worthy practiced today, right? Because he left that game banged up. Okay.
Yeah, with Rice off the field this season, and you got a grain of salt this because these are Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
But
Hollywood 3-9.
But we've seen Gardner Minshew can be functional 2 receivers still. Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers last year were fantasy plays. The year before, Michael Pittman with the Colts was a fantasy play still. He can get guys the football, so I think he's interesting,
right? Doesn't he to sling it? Doesn't Minshew like to sling it?
He's not the gunslinger. He's not pushing the ball downfield is the problem.
Remember last time we saw Minshew starting for the Raiders, They only and the Colts. They only slung it in the second half because Minshew put them in position to sling it in the second half. Like, he's the one who always ruined the first half of games.
I'm thinking of Jacksonville Minshew, and that's what I'm thinking of.
But the Chiefs are not running the ball against the Titans.
Yeah,
they can't.
I mean, not successfully.
We talked about this last week. We said why we weren't playing CMC, and we wanted to play Brock Purdy and 49ers pass catchers, and that's Christian McCaffrey. And the Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco are not lining up and running the football on Jeffrey Simmons. That's not happening.
Daigle, your boy almost caught a touchdown last week, a very nice one. Slayton. Right.
God, every week this
dude,
guy.
It literally every single week. Although, right all along that he gets more targets than Wan'Dale Robinson. You want Slayton, not Wan'Dale Robinson, despite what the Sims tell you every week.
He matched him in targets again last week. He just didn't.
He's 4-2. Wan'Dale 6'2", Slayton 4'2". Do we like? I guess considering salary, I guess we prefer Slayton, Daigle, or no?
It's just tough because the Vikings defense, Brian Flores, they're playing for Brian Flores. They are playing their asses off. They've shut out some amazing passing games the last 5 weeks. This was the concern about the Cowboys hitting their ceiling as well.
They've had a passing touchdown since week 10.
They've been bracketing wide receiver ones, and I made the mistake last week, when I wrote up matchups, thinking that was CeeDee Lamb, but they actually just treated George Pickens as such. Also, Pickens is the last couple games. There's a lot going on there, but overall, they just let CeeDee Lamb run free and shut down George Pickens instead. So it really depends, in my opinion, who they view as a wide receiver one. It's easier for them to shut down Slayton most likely because he runs different routes than Wan'Dale.
Dean, what is look up real fast? Is Jalen Royals min priced?
Okay, I don't know.
If Jalen Royals is not min priced, if they didn't make an exception to make him 2,500, that's an issue.
Jalen Royals, he's still min 3K.
He's gonna play the Rashee Rice role.
I got him on some of my best ball teams that all died last week, but is it gonna finally happen for
no, probably not. I just wanted to bring him up.
Yeah, that's why I was asking about Worthy, because I came into the week wanting to play Tyquan Thornton.
No, he's out though too.
Oh, is he? Okay, never mind.
He's in concussion protocol as well.
Oh, got it.
He dropped another long one, by the way.
He'll do that. He'll do that sometimes.
Him and Slayton, the
every week. You can count on
my favorite players have flaws.
I had Slayton though too because Wan'Dale was so popular.
We didn't mention the Dallas receivers. Lamb, Pickens against the Chargers. So we just, certainly if you're running 150, you get them in the pool. We're not prioritizing these guys, Rich.
Not necessarily. I still prefer Jamar Chase. We didn't even really talk about Chase, but obviously Chase, if you can get to him at that price point. We talked about Amon-Ra, wanting to pay up for Amon-Ra as well. Who do we talk about in the first game? No one.
Atlanta, Arizona.
Cardinals.
We don't know.
Yeah. And I really like a lot of the mid-rangey guys. I like Sutton a lot in that price point.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like DK Metcalf a lot.
Yeah. All right.
Probably gonna live in that range.
And you can play Nico Collins still if you would like as well. But I'm a little worried just that game is more boring than we got last week.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's just they're gonna suffocate the Raiders, and
the Eagles just benched all their guys in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. That's why if we do lose Woody Marks and Nick Chubb doesn't play, Jawar Jordan is live.
Yeah, and Chubb practiced today.
Oh, did he? Okay.
You got to get Chubb out there. Jordan by 5K, not 4K, 5K. I guess because he had a good week last week. I don't know, but I assume he was 4K last week. If he was even in the pool,
if Jawar Jordan, he probably was in the pool last week, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Tight ends.
You're gonna tell us T.J. Hawkinson is the cash game tight end, aren't you?
You are correct.
Dude, that ownership. It's going to be 100% between J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, and T.J. Hawkinson. And imagine.
What could go wrong?
Let that beat me. I don't care if it beats me. Let that beat me.
What could go wrong?
What does a ceiling Hawkinson game look like?
What we just saw. He has to score a touchdown. He has no choice but to score a touchdown. If he doesn't, then everyone else is going to beat him.
Most popular on FanDuel, Juwan Johnson. We got Juwan Johnson most popular.
That's a good play, though.
Yeah, I know you like Juwan. I assume you're probably going to talk about him now because you're on New Orleans. And Juwan Johnson's second most popular as of right now is the stuff that I ran on a Wednesday night. Hawkinson, Juwan Johnson, Gesicki, Strange, Fannin, Theo Johnson, basically some semblance of some kind of punt, not spending all the way up on Trey McBride, which we'll see.
A lot of people played Theo last week. He lost snaps last week. He had his lowest route share since like week 4.
Is there a reason you can point to?
No
or
clue.
Just,
no clue. Probably because people played him.
Somebody put the call in. You got to get more Bellinger. Is it, are they running 2 tight ends? I don't know, but yeah,
he was. Yeah, they phoned it in. That's my new favorite thing, Dean. I know you used to love the bit where you looked up where people asking for the books to like refund a player that got hurt or something.
Yes.
My new favorite thing is the people at the simulation tweets. Like, this is why things are happening. Although now Puka Nakua is in on it, so I don't know. I don't know what to think.
I just saw a headline. What did Puka say? A bunch of things. I saw refs. I didn't click on the article. I don't know. But,
like refs like to see themselves on TV, which he might not be wrong about, but.
Possibly. Hockley wasn't working out for him just himself, right? I think his son's there. Ed's retired, isn't it? There's a new Hockley, I believe.
Sean Hockley.
Sean Hockley. There you go. And I think he inherited the guns too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm fairly certain. Yeah. A
lot of milk's being drank in that family.
So it doesn't sound like we like Hawkinson chalk. That's the understanding that I got from you guys. Is that correct? Can you confirm, Rich? Hawkinson.
No, I'm not. I can unequivocally say that I will have 0 TJ.
Who do you like at tight end?
We talked about potentially trying to get the McBride, which might not be feasible. Kelsey, who's still going for he's going for some kind of yardage record still. He's knocking on the door of that before he fades into the sunset. Are we still playing Waller at all? We got Juwan, and then you can just keep playing the guy that gets a truckload of targets every week in Harold Fannin as well. He now, the past 4 weeks with Shedeur Sanders, he has 33% of the targets. He's third in the NFL in receptions over that span amongst tight ends. He's on the field for 90% of the dropbacks. And Njoku also didn't practice again today. And then I had Dalton Schultz too. So I had all those guys.
You just kind of like Waller against, tight ends against Cincinnati. He's coming off a 2-touchdown game. The price didn't get adjusted because that was Monday night.
Josh, but I tried that with Isaiah Likely, and I can assure you it did not go well.
Well, you guys didn't run any plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Andrews and Likely failed, I believe, which is
they ran 12 pass plays.
They ran 41 plays, like Rich said earlier.
Yeah, I guess that's a good reason. I'm still upset, but that does make a lot of sense. If you're just running the ball the whole time, you have to run off a bunch of plays.
And I don't mind Waller. Like I'm not opposed to it. I'm worried his ownership's going to get steamed heavily, but if he fits, and I'll run it because you can run it with Achane too. Who did
Rich leave you, Daigle, as far as tight ends? Anybody left?
Not really. I also touched about Britton Strange. Who'd you say?
TJ Hawkins.
I also
he's going to cook us now.
I think I was more upset about TJ Hawkinson than you were. So I will have -0 TJ Hawkinson. And then the only other one I can think of that is between the chalk and Hawkinson and Waller, if you want to get cute and throw them out there, maybe get some touchdowns. The last 2 weeks, Dawson Knox, even with Dalton Kincaid playing in full,
he's not going to play either.
Dawson Knox is out?
Kincaid.
Oh, okay. The last 2 weeks, Dawson Knox leads all tight ends in being targeted on his routes. He's basically taken Kincaid's role. Only Colby Parkinson has more red zone targets in that time. And again, the Bills are double-digit favorites on the road against Shedeur Sanders. So I like Dawson Knox a lot.
If Kincaid is out, is Knox like wide receiver 1, basically?
I mean, with Kincaid, he was wide receiver 1.
Well, he still was only running a little bit of routes. He just gets targeted on them, but yeah.
And I know calling him wide receiver 1's misleading because not all wide receiver.
But not really, because he leads them in routes run. So like, it's not really. He actually is their wide receiver 1.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned Josh Allen, but like, of course, yes, you can always play Josh Allen.
No, listen, you can always play Josh Allen, but what are your odds of getting super Josh Allen here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's probably not necessary. 10-point favorites. But
I mean, look at you look at his big games, they're all in like these. He has 4 top 3 scoring weeks. They came against the Buccaneers, which was a 44-32 win. the Ravens in week 1, which is a 41-40 win. The Bengals 2 weeks ago, which was 39-34. Chiefs 28-21. He has 2 other top 6 scoring weeks. That was the Dolphins 31-21 win, and then last week's 35-31 win. Like, how are we getting to 70 points in this game?
Yeah, that's fair. All right. I think that's it. We should give the people our favorite stack on a Wednesday night, however you want to interpret that. A mini, just one team, a game stack. Rich, what stack is looking most appealing to you as of right now?
I like Baker Evans. I like Baker Evans a lot, and I think the if T. Higgins plays, something with Burrow, Chase, Achane.
Daigle?
Maybe just all that game. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Rodgers and DK and sorting it out on the line side. And then I also, I like Baker, Evans, McMillan, Coker. And I like Shuck Estime.
Estime's I use a pass catcher, I guess. You've referenced that a couple. I didn't get the clarity, but I assume you can get.
Yeah, I mean, I can if you play Shuck and Estime, you can try to isolate the offense for less than 10K salary, less than 9K salary.
Yeah.
And you can get all the touchdowns against, again, the league's worst defense that way. Like, you're not even scared of the spot. You're just hoping they hit their ceiling outcome, which we're doing that for every offense anyways.
You may have said this before. My apologies if you did. Who's the goal line? Do we know who the goal line guy is? Is it Estime? Is it Hull? Is it Taysom Hill? Who's the goal line back for the Saints?
I don't know about that, actually.
Yeah.
They don't even have a running back carry from the 1 yard line.
That's why we don't know
this year.
That's why.
It's probably Taysom.
Wait, Kamara hasn't run from the 1 yard line this year?
Kamara had 1 touchdown, Dean, before he got hurt.
But I figured he got tackled at like the half yard line or the 2 a couple times.
And it's a bummer. I feel bad for Taysom because he can't move sideways. Like, you could still tell, that dude came back from a crazy injury, but like anytime he has to run laterally, the play is dead. If he has to run sideways, the play is completely dead.
Yeah. I mean, I was just curious. You don't necessarily need that with the salary there, but I was curious if he was if it was well established, he'll be the goal line back. But I guess we haven't had a chance. All right, so that's it for football. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. But if you want to hear us talk about F1, do not go.
Big time 3 days of following injuries for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. As always, things can change. Follow the respective sites. Follow ETR, follow Sharp Football, follow RotoGrinders, and we'll get you set for Sunday. Of course, there's Saturday contests as well. Again, a reminder. I guess you heard it in the beginning, but Friday night we're recording week 17. But now we're going to talk about F1. We're going to bring on producer TJ Zwarich.
Merry Christmas to everyone that's checking out now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, everybody
get everywhere safely. Yeah, I know it's the next weekend. Next week, it's very busy.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. Everybody enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Also going to bring in Rob Coakley. Rob, who knows to not piss on hospitality. Ross, Rob, I called you Ross there for a second. Why did I call you Ross? What's up, Rob?
You're clearly pissing on hospitality by calling me the
I
wrong
broke
name.
the first rule. We're going to be talking. That's a callback, people. If you listen to the previous show, we talked about Troll 2. I don't know if we're going to top Troll 2 because that was a lot of fun. We're going to talk about F1. What's up, Rob? How are things?
Good. I've been trolling you for the past 3 weeks because you can't stop playing Kenneth Walker. And now he's on my only remaining Best Ball Mania team. So in order to win Best Ball Mania, I need Kenneth Walker to go out in whatever the hurricane conditions he's in tomorrow night. And,
I think it's called karma.
It is called karma.
Good luck. He's going to break the showdown slate for sure, obviously. All right. So I picked F1. There's so many good movies, by the way, that there's the new TJ's probably watched it as well. He's on top of these things. What's the new not Glass Onion, but what's that born out of? What's that series called, TJ? It's on
series is called Knives Out. Movies called Wake Up Dead Man.
How have you seen the new one?
Yeah. I went to it in theaters when it had its little limited theatrical run. Really, really good movie. Very different than the other two Knives Out movies. Very different storytelling style. Benoit Blanc is not quite as central of a character as he is in the other one. and the ensemble cast isn't quite as prominent as in the other ones, but still a very good movie.
I think another very good movie. I think we'll see. We'll have the discussion. We'll talk about it. F1. This is a movie that I chose. It's playing on Apple. If you're not aware, we just watched this. It's Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Javier Bardem. Great cast. The female lead was Carrie Condon. Of course, if you liked Better Call Saul, that was Mike's daughter on Better Call Saul. If you're not aware,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know she was Irish. I never had any inclination, but yeah, that was Mike's daughter on Better Call Saul. Also, a small part in Train Dreams. Beautiful movie on Netflix. Not for everybody. It's slow. You got to be in the right mood. But that was a beautiful movie on the Netflix. Rotten Tomatoes has a huge, huge summary for F1. So I'm just going to read the summary on IMDb. And it's very simple.
Cars go vroom. There you go.
I mean, do you want me to read this? I can read it if you want me to read it.
I do want you to read it.
Dubbed the greatest that never was, Sonny Hayes, Brad Pitt, was Formula One's most promising phenom of the 1990s until an accident on the track nearly ended his career. 30 years later, he's a nomadic racer for hire when he's approached by his former teammate, Ruben Cervantes, that's Javier Bardem, owner of a struggling Formula One team that is on the verge of collapse. Ruben convinces Sonny to come back to Formula One for one last shot at saving the team and being the best in the world. He'll drive alongside Joshua Pierce, Damson Idris, the team's hotshot rookie intent on setting his own pace. But as the engines roar, Sonny's past catches up with him, and he finds that in Formula One, your teammate is your fiercest competition, and the road to redemption is not something you can travel alone. Incidentally, the IMDb summary, a Formula One driver comes out of retirement to mentor and team up with a younger driver. The end. that was IMDb's summary. But is anybody by chance anybody watch F1? Anybody can F1 fan?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I just assumed Daigle had an F1 story.
Daigle, you have an F1 story?
I actually do not have one.
Wow.
I know my life stopped at the Russian circus.
You didn't dabble in F1?
I did not know. Although,
if you write an autobiography, My Life Stopped at the Russian Circus is a great title. Just so you know.
that is a good one. Although I don't know if y'all noticed, but did you see Liam and Chris Hemsworth in the crowd whenever they were doing like B-roll of F1 races?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
I guess they must have attended one in Australia, but they were in the movie.
Did you drive one of those funky cars in Australia? I know you spent some time in Australia. Did you? What are they called? Buggies?
I actually, I was like old school Ricky Gervais before he like got super popular. He would run everywhere. I would actually take my backpack and I would run like everywhere. Like I'd take my backpack to my cafe, and then after I got off work from being a barista, I'd run home. It was like 5-6 miles, and then I just take a shower and then go out. But I would run everywhere just to see the country.
That's amazing. Yeah. See, you do have. I mean, it's not exactly an F1 story. Well, we still got a story out of you.
Which is ironic because Chris Hemsworth's in a way better racing movie than this one.
Is that Ford versus Ferrari? Is that
Rush?
Rush. Oh, so Rich, did you really like Rush, or you didn't like F1?
This was if there was a sports trope, this movie covered it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we cover all bases, and I know there's a reason these movies are popular, like sports movies. But it's like, dude, like I was like engaged for the first like 35 minutes. I thought the racing stuff was good, but like I just got so burnt out on every sports movie trope, like the pressure from like the slimy sponsors. You have like the burnt out mentor, the cocky young dude, like the dude that's gonna break the rules to win, and then we're gonna jam in like the woman that thinks said burnout is terrible, and then has a sex scene with him later in the movie for kind of no really reason because we have to because
it's Brad Pitt.
Like it's Brad Pitt. Like
that's a good enough reason.
I found myself after like 40 minutes of this movie just being like, yep, we've checked all the boxes. Let's get there.
I would just say this before I throw it to somebody else. I feel like this movie probably plays a lot better in the theaters in IMAX. It looked awesome. It sounded awesome on my home TV. Like it sounded amazing. And I bet it sounded incredible watching it in the theaters. It's probably a different experience.
That was my first thought. Like after a couple race scenes, I was like, damn it, IMAX was the play for this one.
Yeah.
Not even a regular theater. We needed it loud and large because that's one of two great things I feel about this movie. The rest is predictable. It feels like a holiday movie for men, and that like you could gather around with your family and watch this because it's a feel good. It's like Ted Lasso, and everyone would be okay with it, as opposed to some people would push back about a rom-com like watching The Holiday or something with your family. But this, I feel like the races and Javier Bardem were the two best parts of this movie.
Javier Bardem was good. Yeah, TJ.
Skinny Javier Bardem.
In shape, Javier Bardem. Yeah.
Well, when did Javier Bardem not? When did he? Was there one movie you can point to?
He was always a little doughy.
Was he doughy in the Tommy Lee Jones movie?
Oh, No Country, yeah,
a little bit. I guess he was a little bit. I was distracted by the air gun. I forgot.
He had to have like that slick look. He had the slick look in this one.
Call it. TJ, how did you feel about F1?
One compliment I can give it right off the bat, and I've talked about this before times. You know me, a few times. You know me, I like to have a couple things on the go while I'm watching a movie. A lot of the time, sometimes I'm doing some work, sometimes I'm doing some cleaning, whatever, what have you. And in particular, as kind of Rich mentioned, in the first 35-40 minutes of this movie, there were so many times that I was trying to get something done in my laptop, and I just it locked me back in because it was very engaging. It was very interesting. I did feel like this movie probably could have been about 30 to 40 minutes shorter. Didn't have to be near as long as it was, but it was a lot of fun. Like, I don't have a lot of negatives to say of it other than there was just a lot of stuff that didn't need to be there. But I think my biggest compliment would be to Damson Idris. Like, I thought he was really incredible in this. There were so many scenes that I thought there should have been more quick exposition between the two of them, and I kind of felt like a lot of their character development between Damson Idris and Brad Pitt was happening within their brains as opposed to actively on the screen for us. But I thought he did a really good job of conveying like a really wide range of emotions without, I feel like, having much to do in the script, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like he really brought more to that character emotionally than what was in the script, but pretty much just fun, foot on the gas action movie. Was a little too long, nothing overly special, but it was fun.
I think this was my first time seeing him. I'm told he was in Snowfall, which I'm told is very good. I've not seen that, the show on FX. By the way, speaking of Ted Lasso, his mom in this movie was Ted Lasso's therapist, was the therapist on Ted Lasso. You guys remember?
What else did I just see her in recently? Oh, Fantastic Four. She's in Fantastic Four as well. She's been booked and busy since Ted Lasso. Shout out to her.
Rob, I always like to save you for the end because you always give the spiciest of takes. Sometimes we'll see. What's your thoughts?
I'm really on board with Rich here. The joke that I made in my own head as I was watching this is just trope one. As I was watching the movie, I'm like they are literally hitting
one formula.
One formula. They just hit every single sports trope. It's like it's not a bad movie,
no,
but every beat that's coming. Like I could have written this movie, and Brad Pitt's one of my favorite actors, and I think he's good in this movie. He's fine and everything. This movie. Maybe it started off as this, but it should have been a Days of Thunder sequel. This should have been Tom Cruise's character from Days of Thunder. He left racing and came back for F1. The script wouldn't have to be changed too much, and this movie would have kicked way more ass. And I hate saying that because I like Brad Pitt more than I like Tom Cruise, but that's what I think this movie. Like, I think you should have had that character. This should have been a sequel to that. And I think it would have been a better movie overall, but it's just so tropey. Like, it's fine. You can watch it. You're not going to hate yourself for watching it. TJ said it's too long. It's definitely too long.
I was waiting so much for them to just say slingshot engaged when they were doing the Talladega Nights thing, like to a T. Like, even the way it was being shot, I was so ready for that, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't need to be so long, man.
Put Rob's sentence on the front of the movie. You're not going to hate yourself watching this.
It looks and sounds awesome, but I think it'd be a little different experience if you saw it in the theaters. It was also like, it was an infomercial for F1, right? Like, I feel like, I don't know what viewership was.
And I don't know like how accurate, because I'm not like into the F1,
Same.
like, so I don't know like if they did a good job, if it was like a great representation. I don't know. So I don't like.
But I would imagine they backed this or funded this in some ways, or at least they gave.
Well, Lewis Hamilton is on the credits, right? For like
he was at the end. We saw him at the end. He was in the last race.
Of course,
he was an executive producer.
That's what it was. All right.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I think it was quite accurate, because I know it. I'm not personally into it, but I have heard of a lot of people who have no interest in racing whatsoever, but have just started watching the Netflix F1 series that pops up just because apparently they're incredible and like production is really good. They're really interesting, and so I think a lot of people were very interested in this movie because of that, and that otherwise may not have been, outside of just kind of the cast and the director, things like that. But from what I understand, they did a really good job of like making it in that world.
Didn't the character reference the show Drive to Survive? I think a character actually referenced it, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't they say, like, I watched the show, I'm not a huge fan, but I watched that show, or I'm into it now, or I think he said he binged it.
Oh, yeah, it was the sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's funny, we mentioned Ted Lasso a couple times. Just like in Ted Lasso, like Ted Lasso was hired to lose, right? I mean, they wanted the team to lose. So the same sort of concept. Did you guys see that coming? Like the old Ted Lasso Major League twist? Did you guys see that? Because
it's happened in other movies, Steve.
I know.
Obvious villain was obvious.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, we were on to that before it happened.
I saw the villain twist thing coming, but I didn't necessarily think the "I wanted you here to lose" thing. I didn't see that coming, just because the movie opened with that guy not even being there, and it was Javier Bardem just being like, "I'm screwed. I need my friend. I'm on my last resort. Please help." Like, and so just because of that, I didn't really necessarily see that coming portion of it. But one thing I forgot to mention, that when I was kind of going through it, I think this was a very subpar, mediocre script that was turned into a good movie because of the cast and director.
Well,
if you cut that guy out, if you cut that arc out of the movie and Kerry Condon's arc out of the movie, you probably have like a pretty tight movie here.
Yeah,
I like Kerry Condon's arc.
Well, then what do you want to?
I don't know. I liked her arc. I just liked her.
Yeah,
I felt like we had the romance is what we're talking about, right? The woman
that was the part of the cliche. Like, I would never go for a driver. Never. That's certainly not one that I work with. Oh wait, it's Brad Pitt.
That was kind of my issue, is that the romance, it just seemed it's only there to fill the narrative. There was literally no need for it to happen at all. Like, the movie could just be about racing, but that wouldn't be what this movie wanted to be. It wanted to, because it's F1. It's like, it's one of the biggest sports in the entire world, regardless of like what we think of it personally. So it was always going to smash the box office. It was always going to be able to get whatever the hell actors they wanted, because again, F1 is massive.
Yeah.
And I will say, I didn't like her. I agree with you guys on the romance standpoint. I liked her professional arc in this movie. Like, I liked her involvement in the racing aspect.
I also got the feeling that there was something in the editing room. So I thought the other female, Jody, was somehow involved with Josh. Like, at the end,
it was like she had a lot cut from this movie.
Yeah, I got the feeling, because like it was 2.5 hours, but like at the end, like, they're celebrating, and then the two of them were celebrating together. And I'm like, well, sometimes you see it in the movie and you're like, that doesn't totally make sense. But there's probably a lot of stuff that was edited around. Like, they had some kind of story with that. I didn't research this or anything, but I felt like there was probably a story with them being together as well, which I guess they kind of hinted at it. They like each other in some ways, but they never really paid that off, right? Unless I missed it.
Yeah, they should just got her like completely from the movie. Like, because like, to your point, anything she's in, it just doesn't make sense. It's like a quick good thing. Brad Pitt, like, she comes in, she's like, "Don't ever help me again." And it's like, okay, well then nothing ever happens again. It's just like, what are we doing here?
I feel like there was more. I think there was more of that.
Yeah.
And they just somebody said, let's get rid of most of it.
We do have to cut some of this movie out, guys. It's probably what they said.
We got to leave these races in, so like we got to.
Yeah,
we're not cutting that.
It's Days of. Would you have wanted Tom Cruise? How far committed are you to the Days of Thunder? Do you want Nicole Kidman to run it back?
No, I think you could lose the, like, he could have left, racing after a bad crash that we didn't see. You could have brought him back. You could have,
of course.
you could have done all the same stuff you did basically with Brad Pitt, but you just do it as the Days of Thunder character, and at least you have some connection to that character from a previous movie. It kicks a little more ass with Tom Cruise again, which I hate saying for this script. I think it would just work better personally, but it is what it is.
I thought it was trash that he won.
Say it again.
I thought it was trash that he won the final race.
Oh, see, I think that's fine because the only thing that they sort of like subverted expectations on is like they were setting up the whole movie for him to sacrifice to help the younger one win, and then flipping that is they're trying to get rid of the cliche there, like, but it's just like whatever.
But he had a good response. He's like, listen, I'm going to win a bunch of these. Here's your one, and go off in the sunset, that kind of thing. If we're going to power ranked, we're talking about the Talladega Nights, the Days of Thunder, and F1. Do we have a clear 1, 2, 3? I know, Rob, you kind of threw it out there.
It's Talladega Nights, Days of Thunder, whatever the Sylvester Stallone F1 movie was, and then this.
What was Rush? I mean, I know that was a true story, right? Wasn't that about? Senna? Was that about Senna?
Is that a Ron Howard movie?
I think so.
Fast 5, Fast 7.
Do you guys remember the Sylvester Stallone F1 movie?
No. Now you're having me Google.
It was so ridiculous. They had the most ridiculous scene I've ever seen in a movie in that, where they're like at a party with two F1 cars just at the party, and they're drivers, and then one gets mad and takes off throughout the city in the F1, and Sylvester Stallone gets in one and he's chasing him through the city. It's like, what is happening right now? This would never fly.
Rennie Harlan directed it. It's called Driven.
Driven, that's what it is.
From 2001. There you go.
It's like a 2000s movie too?
Oh, yeah.
2000. I don't remember this.
It's too bad, Rob. You had to win this week. We could have watched it.
We got anything else here, boys, or shall we?
I ranked them Drive with Ryan Gosling, and then Talladega Nights, then Days of Thunder, then Driven, then F1. And I haven't even seen Driven.
We're opening up the standards now. Like now, just anybody were
maybe Baby Driver after Drive.
But,
all of the Fast and Furious movies, Talladega Nights.
Well, that goes without saying. We don't need a rank.
Herbie Goes Bananas.
I owned the Herbie VHS.
Gotta get Death Race 2000 in there.
Death Proof.
Death Race, yeah.
I mean, now we're just we're letting everybody in here, and it's a big it's going to be a big list for sure. Rotten Tomatoes game, yes. Yeah. Rich,
it's gonna be way too high.
Give me both the audience and the critics. Critics first, then the audience.
Critics, gosh, man, I'm trying to think like how high could this go? Because this is like a token too. Like this would be like a six for me. Is like so.
But it's a thumb up.
85. I'll give you guys a bunch of numbers to jump me. I'll say 85 critics, 90 audience.
Daigle.
All right, critics, I'm definitely going to jump you. I'm going to go 91 critics. I'll go a little bit lower audience, 88.
TJ.
I will take the reverse approach as Daigle. I'll go a little higher critics, a little lower audience. I'll go 84 audience and 97. Sorry, 84 critics, 97 audience.
Rob?
Give me 83 and 83.
82 critics, and TJ got it. It's a crowd pleaser, man. 97%. 97% from the audience. By the way, we didn't mention this, a little critique. If we're critiquing, you guys like to critique. The announcer, the guy on the PA announcer, he's not focused on who's winning. He's not focused on who's second, who's third, who's fourth, who's seventh. Oh my God, this guy's now in 15th. I understand they got to do that for the audience. They got to keep let you know the characters you're actually aware of. But the PA announcer very much cared about like the worst team. They didn't care about who's actually winning the race. Okay.
And I don't know anything about F1, but the the fact that like he was so blatantly cheating that like everyone knew he was cheating and like still was allowed to cheat. Like it's like I was like, oh okay.
It was also funny because apparently the announcer could hear everything going on their radio, but only conveniently was like, they're having problems, not, oh, they're actively planning to cheat here.
But what about Lewis Hamilton? Is he having problems? We'll never know. Yeah, so Rob, IMDb, 1 through 10.
6.5.
TJ?
I'll go 7-2.
Daigle?
7-8.
Hribar?
I'll say 7.5.
Oh man, 7-7. You guys danced it around it there a little bit.
Should be like a 6.5.
That's what Rob said, yeah. But it even felt Rob's cadence made it seem like he was grading it himself, not.
I know, because I knew. Like as I was saying it, I was like, "This is."
Now, once he said 97%, I was like, "It's gonna be juiced."
Yeah, and it's new. Yeah,
Let's put a score on it. Rob, 1 through 5. What do you got?
I mean, this is a 2.9, right? Like, it's fine. It's a movie that you watch. You're like, that's fine. You'll forget about it in a week and you'll never watch it again. And someone will bring it up in 15 years and you'll just be like, yeah, I watched that. And you won't remember a thing from it because it just will jumble with every other tropey sports movie you've ever watched in your life.
The reaction I had to Driven, like Driven, like 20 years, I'll have the same reaction. Did I see Driven? Did I see F1? TJ, you have a superhero for me?
Yes, I am going to go with the character of Impulse. He is in the Flash family, but he is the tropiest version of the character. He just basically takes all of the annoying things that all of those characters do and just ramps them up to 10 because he is the legacy of them. And so it kind of felt fitting based on everybody's review of F1. He is still a adequate and high functioning speedster that gets the job done and is very entertaining. Not a lot of substance there though. So I'm going with Impulse.
Bart Allen apparently is Impulse. I didn't mean to expose Bart. I didn't want to dox Impulse. I'm not sure if that's public knowledge or not, but apparently that is his name, Bart Allen.
Yes.
All right.
I can't remember if he's the son or grandson of Barry Allen.
Oh yeah, they got to be related. That makes sense. Yeah. Bartholomew Henry Bart Allen, according to the interwebs. All right. Tight end. Rich, what do you got?
Yeah, this movie hung around for a long time. Was it good? Was it bad? It was there. It existed. Actually, there was a couple things you probably like the racing scenes or something. This player had a couple plays that he could definitely remember, like him running down Champ Bailey in the playoffs. But I'll give this a Ben Watson.
How long did Ben Watson play for? Like 15 years. Right?
Just as long as this movie was.
That's the joke.
as long as Brad Pitt shot this movie.
Ben Watson.
Patriots, Saints,
Cleveland.
Did he play Packers for a little bit?
No, Patriots. Maybe twice the Patriots.
Definitely the Saints. I remember. Yeah.
2004, he started his career, played to 2019. He finished with New England. Started with New England.
Yeah, he went back to New England. Yeah, it was.
Cleveland 2010 through 2012, then New Orleans.
What's the most yards Ben Watson had in a year? It had to be like sub 800.
Yes. 2010, his first year in Cleveland, 763 yards. He got in the box 3 times. He got 6 touchdowns for New England in 2007, but less than 400 yards. But yeah, his biggest season, 763 yards in 2010. Played till 2019. For New England, 2018, New Orleans, 2017, cup of coffee there with Baltimore. I did forget that. There you go.
Yeah.
500 yards for Baltimore. Daigle, we need a wrestler. We also need your Cena take. Everybody's got a Cena take. Everybody's either angry or mad or happy.
The meme, I'm just glad for the meme.
The smile?
Just what a joy that meme is right now.
Especially after his Instagram post after it, that made it so perfect to me. Just kind of like realizing what he was going for made it pretty cool.
What was the Instagram post afterwards?
It's the Alec McGinnis Obi-Wan Kenobi or Ben Kenobi from the original Star Wars trilogy, where it's like right before Vader kills him and he says, "Strike me down and I'll become more powerful than you could ever know." And then he dies, and he's like trying to mimic the same smile as Ben Kenobi right before he dies.
All right, fair enough.
On John Cena, at least, I know it goes against what the public is saying, which is not a shock when it's coming from my own personal view, but I thought it was good. Like, I don't want Cena winning his last match, and I bet, I haven't heard anything about it. Rob can maybe help there. I guarantee you Cena had a part in that finish and that he wanted to pass the torch. He didn't want to actually go out with a win. And so, although the crowd was absolutely pissed off at Triple H, I thought the booking was great. I think he should tap out in his last match. I know it sucks for his entire theme being never give up, but he at the very least should have lost and passed the torch in his last match. So I agree. I liked it. And the meme is great just because he is smiling as if he knows he's gone. Like, he knows it's the passing away of a wrestler and onto his acting life. So I liked it as opposed to everyone else's opinion.
Yeah, I liked it too. You go out on your back when you're leaving wrestling, especially if you're a top guy like that. You have to help make somebody. But the whole like everyone bitching about it is driving me crazy, because like the never give up thing. But he didn't give up. He tapped. It was time to tap out of wrestling.
You let go.
He wasn't tapping out of the match. He was tapping.
Letting
out
go
of
is a good way to phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was time to go.
I'm a Force ghost.
Yeah, it was time. It was time to move on. Like it's time to. And he won't come back. He's not. Every wrestler retires and comes back.
I believe him too. We both believe he's never going to do it again. He'll be like in some capacity, like Hall of Fame or whatever. But
yeah, he'll show up, but he'll never have another match, which is fine. Yeah, he'll never do that again, and it's good. But the retirement shit has to stop now. I don't need a retirement tour for everybody. Like we just had Cena do his, and like that, like Goldberg was this year, and now they're talking about AJ Styles, and the actual GOAT is talking. They're trying to make the actual GOAT retire this coming year, and I just
who's the actual GOAT?
Oh, Chris Jericho, of course.
Oh, there you go. I forgot, of course. And then it's become dare I say a trope, like we're watching,
right?
But wrestling's full of tropes, obviously. Daigle, do you have a wrestler for us as far as this movie?
Oh, this is an easy one. Who's a cookie cutter wrestler who never crosses the line or take risk, who you are completely fine with watching every match, but ask anyone who watches wrestling or in the industry, and they'd never put them in their top 30 wrestlers of all time ever. That's The Miz. So this movie is absolutely The Miz.
Huh. Great ambassador, though, right? The Miz?
Yeah, and very good at what he does. But again, no one would ever tell you that like they were extremely excited about The Miz. Not only that, but The Miz's best storylines have had to involve other main characters, kind of like Javier Bardem in this movie. You had Damian Sandow being Mizdow for portraying Miz. You had Miz winning the tag team championship with Shane McMahon, which was a lot of Shane McMahon carrying that storyline. And then, of course, The Miz beating John Cena for the headline of WrestleMania, which was Cena carrying that storyline.
His real life story of going from like Road Rules contestant or Real World contestant, right? Real World.
It was Real World. I watched all of that Real World as well. He was just a roided up frat guy who genuinely loved being a wrestler around the house. Like, he was a big dork.
Yeah. And I've seen the stories. Like, apparently he wasn't welcome to the locker room, and
no.
I guess I'm sure you know about it too,
Right.
Daigle. He was hazed a fair bit until eventually, I guess, they respected him. Rob, do we approve of Daigle's selection?
Yeah, I understand it. My only pushback on it would be, I'm fairly confident The Miz will be appreciated more after he retires, like because of everything that he's done throughout wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie will be forgotten. But that's 15 years from now.
I don't know if this movie will be forgotten, though. I don't know if it'll be remembered, but I don't think it'll be forgotten.
I don't know.
I think it'll just kind of exist.
I'm sure I'm forgetting some. I don't have the list up in front of me or anything like that. But this might be the very best movie on Apple TV.
As far as their original movies?
Just all their entire catalog.
Coda was very good, I would say. I would stand for Coda.
Yes. Absolutely.
but it's not a long list. Apple's batting average as far as their original movies. I haven't seen the new McConaughey movie, but typically, and there's there's a
McConaughey movie we have to watch.
Which one?
They're by far the best streamer for TV right now, and by far the worst for movies. Yeah,
their TV shows awesome. Typically, their batting average of TV shows are very good. The movie batting average, from what I've seen, the movies that I've seen have not been, like you said, your point, TJ, not spectacular. I think I like this movie more than your guys, and also I'm kind of grading it on a curve. Like I'm kind of imagining myself watching this in the theater in IMAX. It's a crowd pleaser. It's a popcorn movie, and it's not necessarily.
I know you're not about to grade this by imagining yourself watching it in IMAX.
In some ways, yeah. I mean, because that's how it's originally intended.
You better go watch it in IMAX if you're getting a grade in IMAX.
I just think that, you got to respect the best way to watch it, and the upgrade watching this on IMAX is significantly better than watching Anchorman on IMAX or whatever. It's that's barely gonna budge.
What's the last movie you watched in IMAX?
God, was it not Dune? Mad Max maybe?
Okay.
No. I can't remember what it was.
Fury Road was the last movie you saw in IMAX?
So I used to go to the theater a ton, but I have not done that in the last several years. So I haven't done that. So I don't have a good gauge. As the technology, I imagine, has improved in IMAX. I used to have the pass where you go you can go up to 3 times a week for like $25, whatever it was. And if you take advantage of that, it's an incredible deal.
Yeah. It's better now because you can do it like my son has it, and if I have it, like he can use one of my tickets now for his friends. Like go together and like use mine and vice versa.
I also think the real win for IMAX isn't even about the technology. It's now that they try to make IMAX theaters as comfortable as possible. So what you're really paying for in the upgrading price is like the leather chair that has a footrest and like the menu you can get shit brought to your seat without getting back up to go to the bar. Like that's where the extra money comes in.
Well, you gotta incentivize people to put on pants. Otherwise, I mean, I have Netflix and I have Amazon and I got the Hulu. I got everything. Like, it convinced me to leave the house.
Yeah.
Right. And this
I
is
still like seeing movies in the theater.
Me too.
But this is the kind of movie that like pops. This is the yes, you get.
Absolutely.
Well, you can't grade it on that. That's like
but you're
That's like me saying, I thought the Patriots
already
scored an extra touchdown last week, so they should have won by. They should have actually won that game.
He's also established he doesn't even know what it's like to see a movie in IMAX.
No, I do know what it's like. I know I got a 70 in the test. If I studied, I would get a 90. So give me the 90. No, I mean, no, that's not. You guys all agree. What is this? This is IMAX was made for F1.
Like, I mean, this is playing Travis Etienne last week, Dean. You were right for the wrong reasons. Your point is right, but
scoreboard.
You're fucking wrong.
Well, I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a few extra points. I guess I won't give it full points. I grade it out of 100, so I will give it 70 points. I'll give it 70 points out of 100, which isn't anything. We'll give it 70, and I'm probably like docking it a little bit. Okay, we have another movie selection for next week. Rich won. I believe we already know what the movie is, and I guess one is the theme. What are we watching, Rich?
Yeah, we're gonna watch the movie Red One. We're gonna do a Christmas movie. And I am picking this because unlike Rob's choice, where he picked a fun bad movie where we could have fun and enjoy it, my opinion is, and I'll be gladly hope I'm proved wrong. I feel like this is the movie that is like exactly made for everything that's wrong with modern movies, and we can come and dunk on modern movie making. So maybe I'll be wrong. This will be an absolute joy.
If you were to take F1 and Troll 2 and have them have a baby, that's Red One.
Have you seen it already, TJ?
Yeah.
Oh, will you be watching it again?
I'll probably try and go in IMAX for this time, just so I can rank it a little higher.
I almost caved and picked a good Christmas movie, but we got to watch a Christmas movie. Just like when someone wins around Halloween, we try to do a Halloween movie.
Imagine Troll 2 on IMAX.
What was the good Christmas movie you were going to do?
I don't know. I was going to do the David Arbor one.
Oh, that's a good one.
That one's good.
Yeah.
Violent Night. Is it Violent Night?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I enjoyed that one.
That's what the Mel Gibson movie should have been.
It also is the David Harbour racing movie any good? Because I haven't seen that Gran Turismo.
Oh, that looks like the worst piece of shit I've ever seen.
I
Probably bad at
that.
IMAX even.
Did TJ see it?
Nope.
I seen it might have been
Oh,
something. they
billion
reviewed.
trailers for that movie though. Like that movie was marketing ahead of everything.
It said anything that's like in the pop culture wave. I just assumed like maybe fandom hit it, but
Yeah, no, not that one. Not that one.
Is
Like,
Aaron Paul in
F1
that?
we had a
Aaron
review
Paul
for when it was in theaters. I just hadn't seen it
No.
until now.
No,
does it
Aaron Paul
even
was
exist? It's a
interesting.
movie that like came out and I don't even know it exists. I've never heard anyone talk about that movie. Like,
It was Gran Turismo, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was Gran Turismo.
Do you know
No-
anyone that's seen it?
No, just like the Avatar movies. I don't know anyone that sees those either.
I've seen the advertisement.
But they've made $8 billion. like,
I don't get
and no
it.
one's ever excited for those movies either.
The entirety of China goes to see that movie in theaters, and so that's why it makes so much money.
Gran Turismo.
No, the Avatar movies. But I will say, if you are a fan of the Avatar movies, our James Cameron red carpet interview was today, and so that's going to be dropping
nice.
very soon.
Is the second one different than Dances with Wolves, or is that every Avatar movie?
I have not seen the second one. I have not seen the third one, but I'm told the plot is literally exactly the same.
It's 4 Dances with Wolves. Okay.
Listen, man, I ain't gonna lie. The last 30 minutes of the second movie is hot.
Is it
It
just
takes
like
4 hours
dolphin
to get
sex?
there.
It's hot, dude.
You hung in. You tapped out after a half hour of F1, and you hung in for 4 hours of Avatar.
Because Dean, that's a movie you go see in the movie theaters. I seen it. I was blitzed, and it was amazing.
Well, then,
Like,
you're creating on a curve. You're adding in performance enhancers.
yeah, and because I was like, this shit looks so real.
Well,
Ebert didn't do that. Ebert was straight every single time. Ebert wouldn't even
Yeah.
touch alcohol, nothing.
well, I can confirm. I saw Joker 2 blitzed, and it was still a piece of shit.
still
that
haven't
that part
watched it.
didn't help at all in the theater.
I'll never watch it again. I don't know.
That was
I
so
love the
bad.
experience,
Joker
thank
2. I really wanted to like it. It was so terrible.
It's the worst movie ever.
I was going like my son. I think is just going to see it because I guess there's an Avengers trailer, so he's just going to see the Avengers trailer. But I was like, can't you just watch it on the internet? Like,
Yeah,
I think I already watched it on the internet. Is it the one that leaked in France?
It already leaked, and or one of them. Apparently, they're gonna have like, I don't know how true this is, but apparently they're gonna have like 4 different ones dropping over the course of the next little bit. But one of them is already leaked, and so did the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. And so currently, people are watching like tiny, terrible footage cam videos of it, but both of those should be out pretty soon.
I just thought we were going to get one on Super Bowl, and that's about it.
I'm just gonna try to avoid it.
I think Spider-Man will be Super Bowl, and then Avengers will be within the next couple days.
I
Avoid
don't
all
know anything
trailers.
about this world. I thought Avengers. I mean, of course they weren't going to end it, but I thought they had like an ending. Like they're never going
They
to end
did.
it. Okay, so they're rebooting it.
Dean, have you heard about Money?
That's the thing. That's why, like, of course
They're not
ending it.
like there's still been like what 12 movies since
They
15
reconfigure the
movies
team.
since the last
They-
Avengers movie.
They
And
opened
so now they got to do another big one.
to sum it all up, Dean, very quickly. They opened a multiverse. They opened up another universe, and in figuring out how to open the multiverse, now they have infinite universes at their disposal to make movies in. And
So
we
now
got
they
to save the universes,
X-Men
Dean.
characters from the 2000s Fox X-Men movies. They're bringing all of them in so they can do their big crazy.
Dean.
I'm just going cold and watch a movie.
Dean, the Dean in that universe,
absolutely
all
will be
F1 in IMAX.
Yes.
Can we all agree that F1 is at least better than Need for Speed? Nobody saw Aaron Paul's vehicle. Nobody saw that, right?
Never seen it.
That's a damn shame because it's the first thing Aaron Paul did after Breaking Bad too, and it flopped. Just
That happened
tremendously.
to Michael C. Hall after Dexter too, right? What did he make?
Oh, he did. There was a sci-fi movie he did.
But it was cooked. It was
that
dead.
video game movie, right?
Yeah.
That's
Like,
what it was.
Yeah.
It was that. Yeah.
It's like
it
a
was
giant screen.
If you
Yeah.
want some good Aaron Paul content, go and play the video game Dispatch. It's very little playing. It's almost all story, but it is absolutely freaking incredible. And Aaron Paul's the main voice.
Just watch BoJack, man. Just rewatch BoJack.
Don't do that over the holidays, though.
Don't do it. Yeah, wait till
You have
after
to
the
pick up
holidays,
smoking.
or you're gonna feel like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to use Am I supposed to go into BoJack with the stash?
Oh, Dean, you would love BoJack.
Oh, dude, BoJack's amazing.
Oh, I've seen it.
BoJack is okay. BoJack's
I
incredible.
watch it just like I'm perfectly. There's no performance
You,
enhancer.
you feel nothing.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, but I
Yeah.
imagine I haven't watched the whole thing though. I should probably circle back on it, but I did.
Yeah, I think it's the best show of like the last 10 years.
It's great.
Really, that's a bold proclamation.
It's just heartbreaking. It's just soul crushing.
Maybe I got to circle back on it. And I too was rooting for Aaron Paul as well, and I was bummed that the Need for Speed just did not work out for him, and he had some rom-com.
He's been booked and busy. I don't think we got to worry about.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Doing a ton.
He just dropped out of Invincible. I saw too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he dropped out of it.
Do we want to tell the people where they can find us at this point? Like they either know or they don't, but I guess we can. Sure. Daigle, it's week 16. If the people haven't figured it out just yet, where can they find you?
You can find me playing Jane McMillan on Sunday. And then more importantly, at establishthorun.com, we are doing a special. They're waking my ass up on Saturday morning, despite the Aggies playing the first game before the NFL games. And we're going to do a special 2-game showdown slate. It might be free. I'm not sure yet. But either way, myself, Cody Main, Sam Brott will be bringing you a 2-game Saturday slate, Saturday morning. Join us.
Philadelphia, Washington, Green Bay, Chicago. Texas A&M playing Miami, right? I think it's Miami. Is that correct?
They are playing Miami. And if they win, then the next team plays Ohio State. That's the game that matters.
Party at Rich's house.
You're welcome. Come over. Daigle's been over. He's not back.
Many, many times.
Do you have a IMAX theater close?
I have a nice setup.
No, but I've been blitzed there. I can confirm that.
Rich, where can the people find you outside of you having a party, watching Ohio State in a couple weeks?
Sharp Football Analysis, still writing up the games this week and next week. Just, Merry Christmas, everyone. Well, remember, we'll be back Friday and not Wednesday next week, so I hope everyone has a good holiday.
Rob?
I see people wanting TJ to stream more video games in the chat, but if you follow the HTGS Reviews channel on YouTube, I'll be doing some playthroughs of Resident Evil 7 and 8, getting ready for Resident Evil 9 to come out. So
Leon's back, baby.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in our private chat.
Are those remastered games, 7 and 8? Is that from like years ago?
No, they're more recent, so they're not remastered.
Have you played the VR ones?
I did play 7 through VR.
7 in VR is fun.
Yeah, 7 in VR is really cool.
Can I confess something? I bought that VR thing, and it's still in the box like 2 years later. Should I open it up? Is it fun?
Yeah.
Mine's just chilling right here on this hook, and I haven't even turned it on in probably 2 years.
Yeah, there's a new Batman. There's a Batman game too. I would like to play.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna open it up. I think one of these days, or re-gift it. I don't know. We'll see. I have not opened it. All right, TJ, where can the people find you?
Rob said, so you think you like Agents of Fandom? Well, let me do you one better. Check out Hometown Ghost Stories, because I'll be streaming. But actually, I got, in addition, we're going to have our James Cameron interview dropping for Avatar Fire and Ash shortly. We'll have a full review and breakdown for that movie, in addition to somehow I will find a time to spend some time with family this holiday season between being on every single RotoGrinders football show, either on camera or off camera. And we will also be covering Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Pluribus, Fallout, and Stranger Things. So we're at about 4 weekly shows, plus our Comic Corner, which is where we're talking about all the latest releases in comic books. So over the next couple of weeks, we'll probably have about 5 shows a week. So lots and lots of good stuff coming, Agents of Fandom.
Appreciate y'all listening. Week 16. That's for Rich, for Daigle, for Rob, for TJ. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah. Stay safe, win some money. We're out of here.